Hello, everybody, and welcome along to URS. Once again, we are here for round number 11 of the season 3. It is the Spanish Grand Prix this time around for the third half of the season. Wow, third half of the season? Third of the season.
Mm.
Two-thirds of the way through. Now into the third part of it. So, welcome along. I am Ryan Ocon 31, your commentator, and I am joined by my co-commentator, Lando Norris. Welcome along.
Hello, I'm back in the booth again. Um, if you missed me in Imola, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere now for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, Maddie and Rowdy need invites. Yep. Well, yeah, exactly. And speaking of Imola, let's talk a little bit about last week, where Aaron Ocon took his first win since the first ever race in the league. Took his first ever pole since Portugal, which, if you go all the way back to round number 12 in the league, which we'll see round number 12 again next week, that is the last time that he took a pole then, and he took his first pole since then. So some streaks being broken by Aaron Ocon last week, and he was joined by Maddie and Jeb on the podium. Pluto sleeping through his alarm clock, meaning the championship gap's now down to 46 points.
Only down to 46.
Only. Just only.
Still, it's better than nothing, really.
Better than nothing, right? Yeah.
I was racing in that rate at Imola last time out. It was fun. I spun 3 times. Still finished into points. And I actually had overtaking. I managed to overtake people. It was kind of fun.
It's always good when you get a fun race like that, you know? I mean,
It's like the only track where,
it's the good part
seems
about
like
it.
people know how to use their head a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
But things have changed in the last, 4 days. We had another useless update to the F1 game. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see one of the new updates with the updated McLaren livery, so if
Well,
you couldn't be able to see the car, well, now you can, because now it's got a giant sponsor on the side for the first time. Can you believe that we have a new sponsor on the McLaren actually in the F1 game? I don't think I've seen that
well,
since 2013 on the game.
you know what? You know what's good about it too? Both Ferrari drivers won in the Ferrari special livery, and hopefully McLaren can do the same. They don't have its shot Rowdy in the lobby yet, so that is the concern right now. As we're at 11:58. Yeah, I hear you on that one, Chungus. I agree. But
Jamie's joining.
uh, yeah, he is. I'll get the reserves in as well. Gonna need some help with invites, by the way.
I can't invite
Um,
Rowdy because I don't have his EA thing.
EA thing, yeah. I'm trying to get him. I don't see him online because it won't let me invite him unless he's online with EA. So he was on, but I need to check through that. Lando,
Oi!
how about you go through? Considering we are here at Spain for the first time, how about you go through the championship standings, constructor and driver?
I will gladly do that. So if we go into our World Championship standings, Pluto enters this race as of round 10, 160 points in the lead. Behind him is Jab in second. Very, I guess, almost maybe quiet season from Jab, but he's been staying there. But not too far behind him is the AlphaTauri of Kostag. Then we have Matty Moon in fourth. Joseph having a pretty good season, along with TJR routing out there the top fives. We look further down, we have Will, Joe, Tom, Aaron, all kind of in a little midfield scrap for sixth, really. From TJR down to Polo, maybe even Sam, actually, are all kind of in that championship P6, P5 maybe fight. Look further down, obviously, you got J&T, once again, missing another race. Literally another last-minute moment for him. And we have the Ferrari of... I'm gonna screw this one up again. Rice Cracker.
Rice cracker,
Yep, Rice
rice
Cracker,
cracker.
there
There
you
you
go.
go. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
shot in the McLaren, 16th. Ter Honestly, an abysmal season for McLaren. Both Alpines, they're in 17th and 18th. Both rocking with 28, 27 points. Toneless,
People.
another reserve and 20 with 23 points. And we go down to Chungus, who's officially last in the drivers' standings. Crazy to even think that. And people that are either just below that are Alistar, who, I mean, we don't need to talk about him, and Rowdy, who's come back and he's made a pretty good effort. Obviously, in Imola, he didn't even get to. I don't even think he got the race because this game is great with disqualifying people.
Oh yeah, I know.
And so he's rocking with 4 points. Brute is, I believe, back or he's not showing up.
Correct. After the
But
race ban, he can be in the Aston Martin, but I do not see him available on Discord. So I'm gonna get Surfy in. And
yeah, so
who's
Brute.
also another cross-platform guy.
Oh, we got
Just
another
to put
one.
that out there. Yeah.
We love cross-platform.
PC maybe? PC, I think.
Yeah, we got
I need to check
Maddie.
where
We have
Rowdy's at
Maddie.
too.
Yeah, just give an update on Rowdy because I
Rowdy,
need to
yeah.
see at least one papaya car.
well,
There he is. There's
I'm trying to
one.
find where
Surf.
Shot is.
Surfy. There he is. The
Surfy,
other.
yep, Surfy's in. So Surfy will go Aston Martin. Trying to think of where the rest of the lineup is gonna go. There's no McLaren in yet. Waiting on Kostag. And there will be no Mercedes, I don't think, today, unless anyone shows up late. Who wants to reserve? So I think that's what it'll be up to.
Thrasher's right? Oh my.
Either way. Yeah, Thrasher is racing.
Holy.
Yeah, we got quite the list of penalties to be served. You want to go over that?
Oh,
Quickly
yo,
while
this is
I
my
post
favorite.
these invites.
This is my favorite time. I just gotta find the penalty
Oh
time.
yes, sir. Tons
Penalty
of them.
penalties. Here we go. Here. Wait. Where's the penalty thing? I just went on the penalty reports. Does it say? Uh-oh, we're struggling to find this. You're gonna have to keep You're gonna have to give me a little
Updates.
slack here.
Updates.
Updates. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's been a long 3 days. So let's talk about some penalties. This is my favorite time of the day. We got McLaren. It shot 16, one shot qualifying, and a 5-second time penalty. That's kind of hot for I believe it was impeding somebody in qualifying, and I think he had an incident with Kostag in the race. Rylus Cracker has a qualifying ban and a 5-second time penalty as well in the Ferrari. Reserve Mac has a 5-second time penalty. TJR TJR has an 8-second time penalty, so that's gonna be hard for him, and probably the hardest one for all if he even shows up to this race. Brute has a 25-second time penalty going into
Don't
this
really see that
race.
often. You
That
really
is
don't.
that is almost guaranteeing you to just run in the back the whole race, hope everyone crashes, and there just BS your way into points. Be nice. That's up with penalties. And have we been to Spain before?
We have not. So this is our first time to Spain. I'm just trying to figure out these seats, and then I'll get going on energy and everything else like that. I apologize
No, you're
in
fine.
advance.
Bro, I'm
It's so
more
tough. It's so
wasted than
tough
you.
when people like. Well, I know you are, but I'm saying it's tough when people like decline at last moment, or it changes. Really, that's the tough part.
I think we have a couple
So,
people
and
that we know.
I know. Well, it's not just that's just the one person you're thinking of. So, that's the thing there. I'm trying to figure out what the hell Rowdy's deal is there because he's not on his PlayStation right now. He's on his Xbox. So I'm trying to figure out.
Maybe he might be trying. You know what? He's probably doing something.
I don't think Shotwake's gonna get Morgan in the McLaren now.
Go for it. I'll be right back. I'm grabbing something.
We'll do that. All right, we'll be starting in just a moment or two. For those of you joining, chat, welcome along to the Spanish Grand Prix. 11th time this season. Let us know how you're feeling today. Let us know who you're supporting. And I'm just waiting on. I think it is Morgan and Rowdy. We should be going in just a moment. It depends on what Rowdy's doing. Rowdy says he is joining. But I'm trying to figure out through PlayStation if he's online through there. Is he? No. So Morgan is joined through McLaren. Rowdy, is it okay if you join mid-quali? Okay. Well, let's get going. Ready up. Either way, let me send the stream link out. 4 people watching right now. Let's get more in here. Let's see how people are doing. I know there's a lot of support through drivers. I know Riles always has his fan club along. I know, you know, there's always, what do you call it? Always support for other drivers in here. Lando usually gets support for when he's racing, but, you know, considering he's commentating, I don't know if he'll get the same support or not. We'll see.
I get support. I didn't think I get support.
I think you usually do. I see a couple people in chat usually. As far as my knowledge goes. So, that's the way I look at it. But yeah, let me just send the stream link out. Either way, reserves and first starts from drivers. Let's go through it. We have Surfy making his first start in the Aston Martin. We have Morgan Cheeseman making his first start in the McLaren. And we had, wow, that loud background, I gotta say, Lando.
I know, they're
And
fucking
we
yelling
have
over
the
running.
reserve. We have the reserve of Thrasher racing in the Ferrari. And we have a cloudy but dry Q1, as it looks like. And we'll figure out to get Rowdy in here in a moment.
Boo, no rain. My God. Let's turn down the swing. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Alright, let's see who the first one will be to go out. And I think the only penalties to be served in this race from the drivers is nobody. Nobody has penalties to be served that are racing. So everything that will transfer over to France next week. And we have 4 or 5 races left of the season. Well, this starts 5, so let's hope with that. Let's see if it is actually raining in the race or not from the drivers. Let's see if they're going to troll us again or what the case will be there. But nobody is going out just yet, figuring out setups possibly. So yeah.
Yeah, we're just sitting and waiting.
Well, I do hear someone going out. Correct?
One person, I think.
Might be. Me just going to advertisements here.
Yep, it's
and...
Communist. Communist is coming out. Oh, and
well,
the Ferrari beat him.
Riles probably too. Oh, well, it's Aaron Ocon possibly. Aaron Ocon won last week, got his first win since Brazil 27 races ago. We are now into the 30th race of the league now, Lando. 30 races in, how are we feeling?
I feel pretty good now. It's good to see that the league made it this far. So I think 50 is easy. And if we keep on having attendance like this, just little setbacks like this, so, but everything's rocking good, and I'm hoping for a good Spanish GP on a new track, technically new,
yeah,
revised.
Yeah, and you know we didn't even race this circuit at all on last game. We only had it as a time trial track. I remember back in, I believe it was season 1.
Yeah, and now these drivers are gonna have to hook up some really good stuff on this new revised circuit. As you can see from Aaron's onboard, there's a lot of changes here. So remember this corner right here? Yeah, no, we don't do that corner anymore. We do this corner. We do the MotoGP corner. And he's just hit the yellow curb. Don't hit those. Those are
you do not want to hit those, especially the penultimate corner too. Yeah, exactly.
Now see, they could have changed everything with the circuit, but they decided to keep the worst part of this whole track in existence. The stupid chicane.
Final chicane.
Here he goes. He's
and now we come through the final chicane. I'll let you start this lap, Lando. Go ahead with the Ferrari. Last week's race winner, Aaron Ocon.
Yeah, last week's winner of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix of Aaron, going down the front stretch into turn 1. He's gonna brake right before the 50. Looks at it nicely, very nicely. Doesn't hit the curb. Sometimes you want to hit it, but this is the corner. Oh, Oh, fishtail. Major fishtail. You can't take it flat early in Q1. But he kept it going, which is the more important thing. 22-7 through the first split. Really losing the rear. Struggling horribly on a green track and overcast. Goes down to second. Is he going to get on those white curves? I don't think he did. And here, you can't push the car out wide anymore because these yellow curves over here. Bottom him out. Oh, and he's around. Oh, he just tapped it. And end plate's gone.
Well, he's lucky he didn't lose any more than that, and Aaron Ocon will have to go out again, surely.
Yeah, that's gonna be the corner right there of just pain. There's always, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention to his telemetry, so I couldn't actually know what went wrong, but I'm pretty sure he just kept it half throttle.
And as far as I'm hearing from the drivers, it does look like it will rain in the race, apparently. Unless they are joking using capitals, I don't know. I think it will, but we'll find out.
Well, Communist will not be the first one to set a lap as he's invalidated, but he comes across the line with a 120.4, so he's messed up somewhere around the lap. Pluto's on a lap. Well, about to start one.
Where's Rowdy? He's gotten in by now.
Yep, championship leader
going
down the straight. Let's see if he can hook up a very nice lap so he can only do one run in Q1, yeah. And he gets on the curve. Struggling there. Let's see if he can keep it flat in his ass. No, and he's gone around. He spun around too.
He was having trouble in our practice lobbies and he's spun again. No one set a lap yet at all. Well, I say that, here's Surfy.
Let's go, Surfy.
He definitely had an accident on that lap too because that's a lot slower than we expected it to be.
Doggy's the first one to take that corner normally without having any kind of spinning. It's a 22.5 for him to the first split.
Let's go on board with that. Change that.
Alfa Romeo looking to have another good showing after Imola. I'd say that was a pretty good showing, considering, I spun out 4 times for no reason.
Not wrong about that, yeah.
Oh, he's got on the yellow here. That's risk. He kept it all not flat. Pushing the limit right there. So now the drivers can't complain about check limits because we have those white curves. Aston needs to get out of the way. He does perfectly.
Let's drive for the race, by the way, just to answer that question. they did that on purpose. Yeah. I know. I was waiting for it.
Thrasher with a 130.7. And here comes Goggy. This looks like the first legitimate lap time of the session. Goggy powering it up down the straight. It's going to be an 18.6. That's the benchmark now. And Rowdy has joined. Riles 19.5. Pluto sets a 141.8.
A lot of the times we've seen in time trial, by the way, have been surrounded by times that have been a 17.8, so he's not far off what we're going to see probably by Q3, and that's a good representative time for what we will see, as well as Riles with the cutoff too. And I will say I did some practice in that Alpine because I wanted to give some information to the drivers. I can tell you right now that Alpine is a very weird car throughout Sector 3. Jab sets a time that's second fastest. Also, another reserve we missed as well. I forgot to mention him. Atlantis J20 returns. His first start since his win back at Bahrain. He is 6th fastest. Kostag will go 2nd fastest, just ahead of Jab. And Burning Man, the Red Bull, also reserving. He is 5th fastest and around.
Sam.
And now he's stuck.
Oh,
he's
no.
stuck. This is the first driver we've seen be stuck right now, and he will have to use the reset button at some point, I believe. He's not going to disqualified. He has. He's going to get out of the way, though, I think. Yeah, he's lucky there's not a car behind him. So, considering there was nobody around, I think he'll be okay on penalties, considering you will not get penalized if you reset in qualifying, and
Here
you
comes
are
Pluto.
around nobody else.
Get a line. What's he going to
He did that in the race, though.
4th, 19.4.
4th, yeah. I was going to say, if he did that in the race, though, he would be penalized.
Penalty time.
Ryan Ocon out, I agree.
Oh, and Burning Man's had another little incident. Hey, look, it's a McLaren. It's Morgan.
Here we go. Look at that special livery. I love that livery.
Yeah, look, guys.
I really do.
Take a picture. There's an actual sponsor on the side of the car. Sam's crashed.
And Sam Steed has crashed out of this session. Oh no!
He's lost the rear. chicane.
And for the 12th straight time, he will not make it through to Q3.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. And he was saying, too, to me that this was the weekend. He was feeling really confident. So he's going to be confident from the back of the grid.
There's
really
his dead car right there.
Aaron Ocon goes 6th fastest. Here's Con now through the second corner. Now the third corner up to turn 3. Now for the sector split. Let's see what he can do. What's this going to look like for Com? 22.3 so far.
Yeah, 22.3, I think.
In the first sector so far.
I think that's a pretty good lap right there. Well, to start out. Shady's looking to have a better showing. I'm pretty sure Com was the one last week that got killed on a straightaway. Always looking for better fortune there. Commitment. Pretty nice commitment through there. I believe we have another spinner in Sector 1. 52.3, I think that's another pretty good sector for him.
The yellow curb, though, that's going to affect his lap a little bit.
Just a little bit, but I think just the matter right now is just getting to the 19s, really. I think that's the main goal.
Yeah. And considering you'll have 3 drivers now limited on pace, I mean, that's not as much of a concern for Com. Here he comes.
Big slide.
Just can't crash out of the session, right? Here he comes, final corner. I might see another big slide here. I've seen a lot of traction issues final corner. Here he comes to the line. Second.
That's a really good lap.
Not bad.
Pretty
That's
nice.
actually really good, yeah. Considering that he had a couple mistakes on that, I think we'll see a lot better from him come race time.
Yeah. Alanis is going around the corner. I think he's setting another lap. Or he is.
Joe went 6th fastest, by the way. Yeah, he is.
A lot of mistakes in this session. I don't think I've seen more spins in a while. Oh, Surfy's just invalidated.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, he's currently 13th fastest, so we'll focus on that. But yeah, Sam was saying he matched Goggy and then bend it. So there you go. That's what happened to Sam Steed, for those of you wondering. Why is this stream freezing on Twitch?
Morgan's gone 11th with a 125.2, so a lot of drivers are going to have to go out and make another run. Goggy's retired from the session, understandably.
He thinks he's safe. Yeah, he did that in the pit lane, so he thinks he's safe. He's good.
Here comes the McLaren, a rowdy BJ boy.
I'd agree.
Oh,
he's starting a lap, but I want to focus on. I want to focus, considering Atlantis is actually on a lap, Lando. I want to focus on Atlantis finishing this lap, and then we'll get to someone starting a lap, so we can do the hot lap. But Atlantis is going to cross the line now. It will be an improvement from the old time, but it won't be much. He is going to cross the line. He'll at least go ahead of Morgan.
It looks like he did a
mistake in the second sector. Yeah, it was a mistake in the second sector I saw.
But the McLaren and the AlphaTauri are on both the same lap.
Yeah, sorry, Riles is next. Riles' teammate's next, sorry. Riles, Com thinks he's safe, by the way, in second place. Let's go on board with Riles. Heading in down to turn 1, you're going to want to break around the 50-meter board and be careful not to touch the yellow curbs on the inside, then not touch the curb on the inside.
Don't spin.
Because you end up like Milo did in one of his league races at turn 2. Oh, I've spun balls. That famous quote from him. Turn 3 now for Riles. Now on the run to turn 4, 22.6, so he's 7 thousandths down currently as we head to turn 4. Now we're going to head to turn 5. We're going to go head to the right side, then commit to the inside. Can't go wide. Riles has done a good job not going wide. Then wide on exit, clip the curb, and be ready for the little chicane here before the back straight. And now crossing the line was an Aston Martin. That is Polo God who set a lap. Now we have 15 drivers setting a lap in this session. Now, almost full throttle here. Riles having a lot. Could have gone a little more faster to there, but couldn't. Matty Mamu goes second fastest in the Haas. Now Riles, 35 thousandths off as he reached the sector 2 split. Now coming through turn 11, 12. This Alpine will have tons of traction issues if he goes down to third here. He does. Up to fourth though. Not as fast as I thought. He's got his teammate getting out of the way. Chungus at a lap time that's 4th fastest. A lot of drivers getting in a lot of close times as Rowdy sets 7th, Joseph sets 9th. Now, Riles sets the final corner, comes off of it, comes to the line. What's this lap going to be for the Alpine driver? Riles will go 11th fastest. He may have to go again, considering that was not the fastest laps. And now every driver has set a time.
Thrasher jumps him. Now it's Thrasher down up to 11th, Riles down to 12th. Rowdy went 7th, and he had traffic that lap. He was compromised by the AlphaTauri.
Atlantis has just crashed at the pit lane entrance.
Oh.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get a wheel off, but you know, Atlantis returning to racing for the first time in about 3-4 months. You know, not being so used to the game, hasn't played the game in over 2 months. I mean, he's just getting a feel to it. That's why we put him in the Alpine instead of the AlphaTauri, but you know, that's the AlphaTauri originally was the fastest car you could reserve, but considering he has not actually been in a race in a while, it makes most sense that he would be in the Alpine. Now, Rowdy TJ Boy, I think, is going to complete another lap, if I'm certain, or head to the pit lane.
Yeah,
Sorry, this is a pit lane lap. I thought I saw him close enough to that last time that he was doing that it would have been significant for him.
Rushers had a trip in gravel.
Someone who was about to have a trip into the walls. Aaron Ocon, he's out.
Oh,
It was on board. I was on board with him.
Did he
And
crash
he is
into
out.
the?
Traction final corner went wide. Full throttled it. Was not careful with it, and he misjudged it, and he's now out of the session.
Oh no. Oh, at least his tires.
Surfy, I think it's gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. Surfy on a
We'll
lap
watch
now.
this. He replaces J&T for this race. Polo God has another teammate as a reserve. Chungus thinks he's safe. Chungus will retire from the session. Matty might be doing the same soon. Now, Surfy sets himself up for turn 1, turn 2, and now on the run to turn 3. Wow, this is very wide, but I will tell you right now, you gotta extract all the pace you can out of this car, because you about lose time everywhere. Now, it's Sector 1 split for Surfy, 22.5. He's up 15 seconds.
Oh, what a flyer. Oh, look at the line.
Right?
Oh, man was using hindsight.
He's doing good. Doing good with this. I think this is going to be a lap that could set him into Q2 as of right now with the way he's just pushing the limits in this car, extracting everything he can through it. Like I mentioned, you can't touch the yellow curb. He just stays barely off of it. Now coming through this corner. Is he full throttle? He's off the throttle quite a bit. Oh, he's invalid. No. Oh, man. Let's go on board Morgan. Morgan is yet to set a complete lap. Let's see what he can do. Oh, man. We're just going to see that. They're just going to see that corner just be a invalidation corner constantly. I know it will be. We'll constantly see it.
Oh, yeah. The new revised corner. Morgan's 6 seconds up on his time. He's absolutely flying.
Hey, well, that's going to mean that he'll be up there toward the top 5. I'm surprised about this because I did not expect him to be as fast as he is in the McLaren. I will not lie, considering last moment reserved for this race Morgan Cheeseman is, comes to the final corner, comes off of it now, heads to DRS, heads to the line, it'll be third fastest.
He had a great third sector.
I think Pluto is right about McLaren. Pluto and I were talking about what car he should be in. I was thinking Alpine would be a good one for him, but hey, the McLaren is good for him too. Good job to Morgan. And I will say, you know, it also, you know what also helps him too? It also helps him that he's on a wheel, and considering this is a big track for wheel drivers. We've seen this. We saw this for Shot before. We saw this for Sam practicing. I could tell you that right now. So this track is very beneficial if you're on a wheel, and Morgan is. Now, comes through turn 3 for Joe. He's got a Haas right in front of him. That's Pluto, I believe, going out again. Pluto knows that he might not even be safe if drivers get in competent times by the end of the session. Currently, it's Atlantis out right now. Burning Man will have to improve. Here comes Joe, purple through Sector 1, now through the beginning parts of Sector 2. Turn 5, right under the curb right there.
Yeah.
And Jab feels that everybody is messing up. We'll have to see if Joe messes up at all in this lap. Jab thinks he's safe. He surely is, being 7th.
Can he take it flat? Oh, big lift. Oh,
just about. Just about, though, it looked like. I mean, everyone's going to have to lift through there at some point, but just about. I think that was the closest we've seen. 2/10 up for Joe.
An Alpha going slow, and AlphaTauri going slow, but never mind that. Joe needing a good lap to get him at least into the top 7. I think that's what you need right now.
And the concern is, considering Surfy just went 13th here, is that Aaron Ocon could legitimately be knocked out of qualifying based on pace here. Joe enters the final corner now, loses the rear a little bit. Now it's Riles up to 15th. Here's Joe crossing the line now. Joe is going to be 9th. He'll be safe with a minute left.
Polo's
Next
on
to cross the line was Pluto. Pluto is on a lap. Polo is also on a lap too. You're correct. Oh, we have a spinner. That's Thrasher.
Double spin. Or not one spin. It's Ferrari.
There you go. Here's Pluto through turn 2, turn 3. His teammate's currently 2nd in the session. Now Riles goes 2nd.
Wow.
He will be safe for sure. Aaron Ocon knocked out off pace. Pluto 2/10 down right now. Or sorry, 2/10 up. He would set himself around 10th if he completes this lap. But now turn 5, heading to turn 6 and the chicane here. It's going to be a tough one for him. He's going to have to commit very beautifully. Doesn't touch the yellow curb. Very committed, Very flat out. What's it going to be like through here? Not much of a lift right there. That's a lot better, especially with a top speed car. Now, the back straight DRS, and now to the sector split. He's 5/10 up. So what's Pluto going to set? Pluto, the first time in Q1 we've seen him this close to elimination. He's going to have to complete this lap, surely, with the drivers set to improve. Burning Man, I believe, is either improving or going for another lap here. McLaren spun at the final chicane. Here's Pluto through the final chicane now. Comes to the final corner. Can't touch that yellow curb. He doesn't. He's done this beautifully. Pluto, final corner to the line.
Fastest.
Pluto goes fastest. He is ahead of both brothers of Gagi and Matty Mimo. Morgan
off.
sets a time 5th.
Burning
He
Man's
completes a
gone
lap.
off.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. So he's out, I think, of qualifying. Atlantis is improving. Let's see what Atlantis can do. Atlantis may be the next one to set a time. Surfy's complete the checker flag. Is Atlantis going to make it out of Q1 in this Alpine? Has he saved the best for last? And can he execute the final chicane? Right off the curbs. Very well with that. In his return in the Alpine, what's he going to do? Comes across the line now. He is through.
Knocks Surfy out. Rowdy
That's
on
right.
lap
And
2.
Surfy, by the way, is only out by 14 thousandths. That's Thrasher barely through. Rowdy did invalidate, by the way.
Yeah,
so he will be through. He's safe.
Yep.
Really close field, I must say.
Yeah, after
Shocker.
everyone was done spinning there. Interesting.
Pluto, fastest by a 10th. I mean, we've seen a lot of these sessions recently come up to a 10th or more, and we can see the clouds disappearing just a little bit in the session. But yeah, Burning Man crosses the line. Checker flag for him. 18th. 18th on pace, and behind Aaron Ocon, the slowest out of everybody. And considering the slowest out of everybody is only 1.5 back, and he probably could have improved in his lap, same with Aaron, we have really the whole field probably within a second when you think about the end result. So we will be in for a close Grand Prix when it is dry in the race. However, it's on to Q2 with Aaron Ocon, Surfy, Burning Man, and Sam Steed out.
Once again, another disappointing session for Sam. Another one. I'm assuming the way he crashed out there, he had to lose the rear, because I believe when we were on board with Com, he had the exact same issue.
It's just disappointing because it's happened 12 times in a row. What's causing the 12 times in a row for him? What's the difference making for him? You know, that's the big question here that I'd have to ask if I'm his teammate, let alone if I'm the one driving that car. And Alfa Romeo is out, and Red Bull is out, a Ferrari is out, and Aston Martin is out. And considering there's one Mercedes here, every single team has made it through to Q2. Thrasher barely making through in his reserve appearance. He is making an appearance for the first time since, I believe, either Bahrain last season or Russia or Brazil, I think. Trying to think when his last race was, but it was last season, season 2. So he's through as well, barely, in the Ferrari. So at least one Ferrari's through.
Yeah, we got one Ferrari at least.
That's always a good sight, right? I mean, you got to at least have someone through from the team.
Well, I wish you could say that about Williams every week. With, in real life.
Williams have scored. Well, speaking of Williams in this league, Williams have scored points in every single race.
Wow.
And they have the best chance to do it again at race 30 here today. Both AlphaTauris make it through. Both Williams make it through. Both McLarens make it through. One Aston Martin, 2 Haas, a Red Bull, 2 Alpine. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Landis and Riles, who collided in Bahrain, teammates. An Alfa Romeo. Bahrain last season, by the way, for the championship. Alfa Romeo, a Mercedes, and a Ferrari all through to this session. So all 10 teams will make it through. However, not all 10 teams will have 2 cars. Well, that's quite obvious with there being 15 people. Obviously. But considering the circumstances, it's good we have every team through to this session.
Yeah, that's a very good sign. And first one out on track to start Q2 is Polo in the Aston Martin.
I want to speak briefly about this driver because back in Spain of my league, when I believe this was round 11, this was either, I think, round 10 or round 11, Paulo God was on pole in that race in ARL in my old league when it was a dry qualifying. Not only was he on pole, but he was looking to do really well in the wet wet part of the race. Well, I shouldn't really say the wet part of the race. The wettest part of the race. Then once I think that tires changed, we'll have to get Rowdy back in here. Once the tires changed, it is about when he started to lose pace, and he was just off the podium that race as well. But nonetheless, it is his 69th race under my league ownership, and he has yet to win a single race under my ownership. He's won a race in my leagues, but not under my ownership. So, race 69 for him. We'll have to see how that goes. Goggy's lagged out as well. We'll have to get him in and back to the session. If you can do that, Lando.
I can get Goggy.
Good?
You're going to have to get
got
Rowdy
already.
Alright,
Got Rowdy. Here's Polo Guide entering the final corner, completing the final corner, completing DRS, and coming to the line to start his first lap of Q2. He'll be the benchmark time. He'll be the one that everyone will have to beat as he heads down to turn 1. How much curb is he going to use? He's going to use the left side pretty much a lot. Now, turn 1, keeps it off the yellow curb, keeps off the inside curb at turn 2. Now to turn 3. Not fully full throttle, but 95% on the throttle. That was a McLaren spun right on the track.
Oh no, he's been
there. That was close.
He's been there. When he
Oh my
disconnected,
God.
the car's just been sitting there for no reason.
Wow. Well, turn 4 now. Turn 5. That was close. I actually thought there was a McLaren ghosted right there. The turn 5, Polo God lost the rear there and exit just a little bit. Now the run to turn 6. Now 7. What's he gonna do here? Can't lose the rear. Touches the yellow curb a little bit. That might lose him a little bit of time. Is he full throttle through here? No, not anywhere close. So that is the time. That is the time that he's gonna lose in that corner, especially 52.5 at the sector split. Now, got to be careful on traction here. This will be a tough traction place in the final sector for a lot of drivers. Turn 3 being the main one. I've heard a lot of complaints through it, but the Alpine I practiced with, I think turn 11 and 12 was the hugest part of traction. Now, final chicane. Can't touch the curbs too much.
Oh.
Inside curb. Bounces over it a ton.
Slammed
now,
it.
the final corner. DRS enabled to the line. It is a 19.3. He'll be the benchmark time to set. Next up will be the Red Bull of QBR20 Joe. Can QBR20 Joseph go faster? He can.
We got
19.1 to start this session.
problems going on here in Sector 1. Mercedes around. Alanis went around. The McLaren, thanks to great game by
Joseph around at the
Codemasters.
final corner. Kosag around at the final corner.
Oh my.
Blocking the pit lane, might be disqualified if he doesn't get going. Goggy's lagged out again. Thrasher goes through third. Matty Mumo goes fastest, sorry. We have chaos happening in the session right now. Pluto goes fourth fastest behind his teammate.
An Alpine went around again, I think.
Riles!
Yep.
Riles, speaking of an
18.8.
Alpine, actually, the other Alpine does go faster. You're right about that. So, Riles looking fast this weekend in Spain. Jab goes fastest, 1,000th.
Wow.
Look at that.
Quick update on Rowdy. He cannot take control of his car.
Oh.
So that McLaren is just going to be
Lovely.
stuck there.
Well, he's going to have to probably join back again. But that is a concern.
Great game, Codemasters. Yay, everything.
Tom also completing a lap next, I believe.
Yep.
He will be the next one to complete a lap. Yeah, we'll watch him board with him before
Won't
I
be
have
the
to be
best
back
of
and
laps.
before we get Rowdy and Goggy both invites again. Chungus also on a lap. Yeah, it doesn't look like it will be. He will go to line for another one. If this will be his actual lap, now we'll focus on this. 7 drivers not completing laps. Tom does complete a lap, but it's not representative. This one will be though.
Lot
How
of
are you going
drivers.
board with this one, Lando? So I bear back.
Who are we going on with?
Calm.
Alright. Tom starting a lap. Well, he's on a lap. We missed the first 3 corners, but here he comes in the sector 1. This is going to be a legitimate sector now. It's a 22.5. And loses the rear a little bit, loses it again, but he kept it going straight. That's all that matters. Into this corner. Oh, he's gone massively wide. Misses the apex by a country mile. Now he's going to dart back down to the inside. Do this corner. Make sure you don't hit the yellow curb or else you're done. You're spun bottoming out and everything. He does a great job. Can he take it flat? Is this a flat corner for him? No. He had to use a little bit of braking. Rowdy's left the session again. I cannot invite him. We have something going on the front stretch with an Alfa Romeo, but never mind that. Communist still on a lap through the third sector. Probably one of the worst third sectors in all F1, only because of these next couple corners. Does he lose the rear? No, he got it steady this time. It's seemed pretty good through the chicane there. And he's going to get a good run off here. What's this lap going to be? Is it going to be an 18? It will be a 19.0 with a purple third sector. Good lap by the Mercedes driver. as Chungus on a lap, the hot lap specialist in 15th. How is he going to be looking here through the first sector? 22.3. He's been notoriously known for his great qualifying performances, but just can't get it done on a race. Something always goes wrong with him, whether that be himself or just driving. Never mind that. He's just plowing through this corner, going through everything. How's he looking? Keeps it on the throttle, but not fully. Little hiccup there on the throttle, but it's gonna be a 52.0, no 52.1. My bad. Did the middle sector into the third sector now. There's an Alfa Romeo in the way. He gets out of the way nicely through the last couple corners here. Hooks that one up beautifully. Can he hook up the chicane as beautiful as he did the last time? Absolutely perfect. Gets on the yellow curb for a little more stability. Coming to the line. This should be a very nice lap for him. It's gonna be an 18.4. Great lap by Chungus, and I think that might be safe for him to advance into Q3.
And Chungus, another driver on the wheel. That is important to note, especially considering this is probably one of the most wheel tracks on the calendar. And we'll get Rowdy another invite back now. Let's see if that works.
What?
9 drivers have now set times. Morgan is going to go second fastest. 17 thousandths off the top. He's looking fast this weekend.
Very fast.
Pretty impressive by him.
Had a really good. He's
You
really
know what?
rocking that third sector. Very
I'm telling you. After the way his GSR season
no.
ended. Oh, there you go. Got McLarens spun around facing each other. But no, as I was gonna say, with the way his GSR season ended, he needed a confidence booster, and I think racing here in the McLaren is definitely gonna be the start of that. I would hope, and I would almost assume so. Joseph is the next one to complete a lap. He's the closest one to complete or start a lap. He's coming to the line now. He'll be 10th fastest. That would set him safe, but it'd knock Thrasher out. I'd assume he'd have to go again. And same with Pluto too, because Pluto's not necessarily that safe either.
Now speaking of Pluto, you just
Again?
get out.
Well, there you go. Pluto is reading my mind.
Next up is Atlantis to start a lap, I believe.
And the interesting thing with Atlantis too is, when it comes to him, he's got a podium every season, and we go to the track next week that he's got podium in every single season. So we'll have to see what he could do if he does end up as a reserve next week, or what the case is. Chungus retires. He thinks he's safe. He's all good with that. And Atlantis, as I said, winner at Bahrain, winner in his last start. Can he win in the next start that he does today? We'll see. Well, the Alpines are fast with Riles so far. Can Atlantis replicate that too, as Goggy is having a lot of trouble joining and rejoining the session, this Q2 session. We'll have to see if he can get a lap in by the end of it.
No.
But Atlantis spins!
Another
No! That's another one at turn 3 based off traction.
Holy
Oh,
moly.
no.
And there's the McLaren.
Thrasher's on a lap.
Oof.
Who else is on a lap? Pluto is about to start one.
Yep. This will be crucial for Pluto right here.
Let's watch him, because he's currently on the elimination zone, toward it at least, once everyone sets in times. So this will be important. Pluto comes to the line now. He's going to apply DRS, and he's going to be on the run down to turn 1. What's it going to look like for him? Because you know what? I ought to be the one to say it. He's not been knocked out this season, but if he does not set a lap right now that's good enough, he could be out. And I hate to say it, but it is truthful to this.
He almost lost the
Pluto.
order too.
Now on to the sector split, a 10th up. So it is an improvement for him. He's just got to finish the lap the way he's going right now. He's got to execute this, be very committed, and be very concentrated to where his apex is. Not in the best of corners right there for Pluto. However, it's still an improvement so far. Now heads to the chicane.
Wow.
Then let's see how much on the throttle he is right here. Yeah, he's right on the limit.
Commitment time. Let's see.
Oh,
Nicely.
pretty good there.
Almost there.
Yeah, that was bad. I think that was a little bit better than last time. Here he comes, sector split. 4/10 up, so he's still got a lot of time to find too. He is really finding it. Little bit of a snap right there from his car in the front. Now 4th gear through here. We saw Riles go 3rd earlier in the session. Now it comes through, can't touch the yellow parts of the curb right there. Enters the fallen corners.
Oh, he's
Chicane,
slammed.
very beautifully executed, but he did slam that curb. Slam the outside curb. Now he's going to slam the final corner. Is he going to slam it to the top? What's he going to do?
It is to the
It is
top.
to the top. And it is close.
It'll be safe,
24 thousandths. It will be safe. I would assume so. Rowdy's still having trouble. Goggy now going on track after he ended up
Thrasher's a 10th up on
rejoining the
his
session.
time. Only a 10th. He's gonna have to find some big
Let's see who's
gains
on
here.
the lap. Yeah, Thrasher. We'll watch Thrasher considering he's closest to elimination.
Oh, and there is an
And
Alfa
11.
Romeo just dead.
That is Gagi. There is 11 drivers who set laps. Thrasher being the number 11th, and Thrasher at the sector split 3/10 up. So it is an improvement, but it is not what it would be to get him into Q3.
He needs a
Here he
monster
comes.
here.
3 minutes remaining. Oh, he's losing the rear through here. I could tell.
Wow.
Stepping out on him. Here
He's
comes the
sending
final
it.
chicane. He is sending it, and he's gonna have to in order to get through. Here he comes. Final corner now.
He really had to park the bus there.
Crash out of this one like Aaron did, but here he comes. DRS applied. What's it
enough?
gonna be for Thrasher? Yes,
Just
it's
enough.
ahead of Joseph. But he will have to go again because surely that will knock him out.
Oh, here's someone that we haven't
Kostag's
talked
now
about.
on a lap.
Kostag, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the last time we did talk about him in this session, he was crashing at the final couple of corners, going a bit wide there. But what's the sector split going to be for him? It will be a 22-2. That is really fast compared to what we've seen so far. And the straight line cars such as Haas, Alpine, and I'll even say Red Bull have all been fast. And AlphaTauri have been the ones not necessarily there too much yet. We got to see what Kostag and Joseph can do. They've been there to where they've got through, but have they been there enough to get them into Q3? Very executed through there.
Very nice through there, though.
Right there. Yeah.
52-1.
52-1. Pluto is thinking he's safe. Riles thinks he's safe. They're going to be through. Com goes to 4th. Com will be through. Now Kostag enters the final 4 corners. Not full throttle through there. He's very careful on the traction. He knows how these drivers have been struggling on traction. Doesn't slam the curb right there at the final couple of corners. Does that very well executed. Now comes to cross the line now. Can Kostag goes fastest? No, he's 4th. But he is fast, just like the other straight line speed cars.
Good. Now Joseph.
And this is also a concern because Gagi is now coming out of the final, the pit lane now. Is this late enough? What is this going to be like? Rowdy for sure will be out.
This is going to be close on Gagi right here. He might get there. It's a Ferrari. Slow. Thrasher. Oh, Thrasher spun too. That might be over for Thrasher right there. Alanis on an outlap. Here we go. Down the straight. Alanis needing to get a lap in, just needing something.
Here comes to turn 2, turn 3.
I'll spin it.
I mean, he has the last couple of times he's yet to complete a lap. This may be the way to save him here.
Oh,
also,
nice.
4th for Joe. That knocks Thrasher out.
Yep.
Next up is an Alpine. Sorry, Williams jab goes 2nd fastest. Matty Mumu went to the top if we missed that one.
Oh.
But Atlantis. Now through turn 5. Look at the gap between 1st through 6th. A 10th really between them. This could set ourselves up for a close Q3. And Atlantis is trying to get himself in there.
Oh, yeah.
Gagi
really nice
also completed the checker flag with 10 seconds left. He will get through to start a lap. Com thinks he's safe. He retired. Riles retired early in the session, and he could still be out. Atlantis now coming through the final couple of corners. Checkered flag for drivers. Morgan, checkered flag. Kostag, checkered flag. Rowdy, that's it for him. That'll be at least one McLaren out.
Here comes Atlantis.
The next one to come to the line was Thrasher, but Thrasher, he's out. He pits. Atlantis enters the final corner, comes off the final corner. Is he going to go through? He's 10th. He's barely through so far. Polo God. Yeah, he's not improving.
Here comes Joseph.
He's out. It's Joseph. Joseph is 5/10 up. Can he go through? Can he knock Atlantis out? Joseph comes to cross the final corner.
No.
He's out.
Here comes Gagi, though.
Next up is Gagi. 51-9. That's purple. And that is actually, that may be an actual purple because I believe the other drivers were setting 52-1s.
This is it.
Is it going to be Gagi? Is it going to be Atlantis? Riles is through. Riles is safe again for the 2nd consecutive week to Q3 after not making it all this season until Imola. Now Gagi enters the final corner, comes off the final corner. Can he get through to Q3? Gagi crosses the line. Yes, he can!
He's gone fast.
He knocks Atlantis out. And he is ahead of his brother currently.
Oh, he waited till the last moment and it worked out for him.
Are we going to see anybody in the 18-0s at all? Or these 17s possibly in this session? It's very likely.
Crazy.
And look at the gap between the drivers all the way to 9th, even all the way to 10th. The cutoff, 5/10. The cutoff time was an 18-7 from Riles.
Yeah. Now, the gamble for Riles did pay off in the end. And for
It
Colin.
did. And I was surprised it did. You were a little bit lucky on that one, but it did.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Thrasher from his elimination in his return. But first, let's go through the drivers eliminated here.
We have Alanis knocked out at the last second. Then Joseph, Polo, Thrasher, and Rowdy. He didn't get a chance to settle up because this game really just does not like him.
Both Aston Martins out, both Ferraris out, and that will mean through to Q3 we have both Williams and both Haas. So there you have it.
Oh, this is going to be a very interesting Q3.
Come along. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I agree. And considering how close everyone was up there too, considering we got a couple of reserves in the Q3, we got Morgan in there. I know I said a couple, but I was thinking Atlantis was still in. No, we only got Morgan in there, and considering it's his first start in this league, it's pretty impressive. But
very impressive.
One thing I was gonna say is welcome along, Thrasher. You are out of qualifying.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
that's so mean.
Hey, how? No, in all seriousness though, and I didn't mean it that way. How is it returning to the grid being on the Ferrari?
I mean, it's all right. This track it's really tractionless. I lost so much time spinning in turn 3 that it cost me into Q3, but I don't think I would have been in regardless. But it's great to be back. Obviously I wish I didn't have this bandage around my arm, but it's
An injury.
It's getting there. Hopefully we'll not wreck in the race. Just watch everyone else wreck in front of us, losing traction.
I mean, it certainly does look like that. Turn 3 seems to be undrivable for some of these drivers. You being one of them. Is there something wrong with that corner? Is it just talent or just car can't handle it?
It's both talent and the car. You can't go full throttle around turn 3. You definitely have to let off, and it's not just turn 3. There's a couple corners throughout the track where you can't go full throttle like you could on previous games. So it's once you get adapted to it, then you'll figure it out. Obviously, first time I've touched the game in a long time, so not quite adapted to it like some of these other drivers, but that's what the race is for. We have plenty of laps to adapt to turn 3.
Yeah, you got 33 laps to figure this track out, and what's your ideal strategy right now? You're in the bottom half of the grid. What's the goal going into this now? What's your tire strat? What do you think is gonna happen now?
Pull something out of the bag of tricks is what it's gonna have to come down to.
Does this mean a two-stopper?
It could mean a two-stopper.
Oh my God! Finally, somebody.
I've got nothing to lose, so I'm gonna try everything I can, but it's gonna be hard, especially starting from P14. But I feel like if I can just maybe lay off the start a little bit and watch everyone wreck in front of me and just run my own race. Don't worry about everyone else's race. Run my own race, and hopefully being the points at the end.
Yeah, I was about to talk about the start because this track, obviously, in real life and in the game, this track is a massive slipstream start. I was actually gonna ask, what are you going for? Are you gonna go straight balls to the walls, or are you gonna hold up until maybe the second sector to start making moves? Because there's not much room you got when you send 18 of these guys in the first corner. There always seems to be carnage. Just the main question is,
guys, we gotta go through the Q3 quickly.
Yeah.
Chungus is on a lap. I'm sorry to cut in. Thrasher, we'll finish with the question once we get the drivers who've completed laps. But this is important because Chungus is going to set the benchmark time, and he's 52.0 through the middle sector. He is flying. We'll keep you in here, Thrasher, because I got a couple questions for you myself. But final corner for Chungus. Exits the final corner. Comes to the line. What's this going to be? Is it going to be a 17? It's an 18.2. That is pretty good compared to what we've seen through Q2 so far and into Q3. We have another car crossing the line. I believe that's Riles. He starts a lap. Never mind that. Pluto starts a lap. After that, there's another driver coming to the line. That's Riles, actually. Riles crosses the line. Now, it will be an 18.4. He's a 10th off of pole. Next up is Matty Mumu. He's also going to start a lap
Joe's
as well.
next. Joe's next.
And Joe is next.
Oh my god.
He's really sliding through the final couple of corners. He's really struggling on this.
Loosey-goosey.
We're really just trying to push it, yeah. And he will come off the final corner. QBR20 Joseph will not go pole, but he will go third fastest.
The rest
it will
right
be
now.
a second off. And AlphaTauri of Kostag is off the track. Jab through the middle sector. Also through the middle sector is Chungus, who would have given him a slipstream, but Chungus is pulled off. Jab 52.1. This isn't far off Chungus's middle sector. 52.0 he was. Jab has got to find 2/10 in the final sector to go for pole. We also have two Haas drivers on a lap too. Morgan's on an out lap. Goggy's on an out lap. It is crunch time in this session to go set a pole time. Jab executed very well to the final corner. Didn't climb over the last corner curb like we thought he would. Now exits the final corner. Can Jab go into the 17s? No, he misses out on pole.
No, he cannot.
Next up is Pluto. Pluto goes pole, 18.1.
Almost.
Can his teammate better that? Matty Mumu, final corner, exits the final corner. Can he go the 17s? Matty Mumu can't do it. He's just behind Jab.
Next up is Goggy to start his lap.
Goggy, he'll start a lap. But I was going to continue with the questions to you, Thrasher. Lenda, what were you saying? I don't remember where we're at. Do you want me to go to my question now or no?
Yeah, no, go to your question.
What you're saying?
You need some time too.
No, so I was gonna, ask. I believe it's your most recent race, or this is your first race, first appearance, since we go all the way back to last season Bahrain, correct? It's just like Atlantis, or what? I think it was last season Bahrain. Might be.
Yes, it was last season Bahrain.
So, with that being said, you said since these cars and since the start of this game, you struggled. You said that yourself. How are we feeling, well, how are you feeling, I should say, now coming back? Are you used to it now? I mean, you've not had a lot of track time, you've had a lot of more time in the booth, but how are you feeling regarding that? As Goggy gets a slipstream from his brother, I think.
No, I'm not quite used to it. Obviously, there's guys who have run the whole season, and this is only my first race since last season, like you mentioned, but at this point, it's kind of just testing the waters. I mentioned it a little bit earlier that.
Hold on just a second. Goggy off the final corner. Blue Goggy goes third and splits both Williams. Go ahead.
Sorry. Just testing the waters. It's first race for me in a long time, so I'm just gonna run my race like I said earlier. Just see where it goes.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't really have much else to say. It's dry the full time, right? Just want to be 100% sure. Okay, good. So yeah, that'll be probably best for you. So good luck in the race. Hope for the best.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you after. Morgan is still, I think, maybe going for another lap. Actually, never mind, he's not. He's spun around. He was actually up in that first sector, though. I'll tell you that right now. That was impressive. Yeah. He may go for pole, too. He wasn't far off of it either, so there you go. I don't think Chungus is on a lap. I don't think he's on a lap. I was going to get another interview in. I was going to go with Atlantis, but I don't think we have enough time. Considering Chungus is starting a lap.
Yep, calm.
If we have time, we can get somebody, but I doubt it. I want to get Thrasher because he is returning. I would get Atlantis because he's returning too, but I kind of can't because we got Chungus starting a lap, trying to go for another pole position. Well, trying to go for another quest for pole position. Because the reason why I say quest is because he has qualified second, I think, up to 4 times now. And sometimes it's been to Pluto, sometimes it's been to a different driver. And Chungus has been so close so many times, but his best qualifying still stands second. He's 22 thousandths up to make sure it doesn't stand second. He now comes through turn 4. Turn 5, he's going to commit through very beautifully. The inside curb, not going to touch it, but going to be on the outside curb for the exit. And on the run to the chicane before the fast right-hander. You're almost full throttle to that fast right-hander. But what can this Williams do? We've not focused on that a whole lot. Can they almost go full throttle here? He's just about. I mean, he had to let off quite a bit. But it was good enough, considering what he's been able to do. What's the second sector split looking like? It is up, and this would put him on pole right now.
Almost by a 10th, yeah.
98 thousandths with 3 minutes remaining in this session. Now, 12, now to 13, and the final couple of corners for Chungus to set himself on the pole for the first time. Can we see someone go to the 17th, let alone an 18-0? Chungus to the final corner, off the final corner. DRS is going to be applied. Is it going to be applied to the front row? He's on
it is.
pole right now. He currently sits on pole, 20 thousandths that is. And he may have to go for another one
Riles on
if
the
he
lap.
wants to keep it.
25 1,000s up on this time, and it was a purple sector too, apparently.
And this is the best we are seeing Riles do. We saw Imola last week, a pickup in pace from him. This weekend in qualifying, a pickup in pace from him. Can he pick it up the order on the grid? Riles crosses the line. He's gonna go third.
It's a good result by him. Calm on his lap now too.
Here he comes through turn 5, 6 now to the chicane. We've got yellow flags. Calm. A little bit of a struggle through there.
Can he take
a
it
flat? Lag through there.
No.
Doing pretty well.
Yeah.
To try to get through there and execute. Now comes to the sector split. It is a 52-1. This would set him somewhere in the top 7. Joe crossing the line. He's going to start a lap as well with 90 seconds remaining.
It's going to be close now for him.
AlphaTauri in front of him. Kostek starting a lap. Com completing a lap now. Final chicane for Com. Can he execute this final chicane to get himself up to the front row? Let alone the second row, because the second row's close too. Com comes to the final corner now. He is going to go
7th.
4th row. So 7th, yeah.
Doggy once again has
Also
timed it perfectly. He'll be the last car.
There you go.
Jab.
Just like Singapore.
Yep.
Let's focus on Jab, because Jab is the next one across the line. Morgan starts a lap as well. We got the Haas driver next of Pluto starting a lap. Jab enters turn 1 now. Enters turn 2 now. Onto the curbs. And possibly under the turn 3 curb right here. Just stays away from it. Now, full throttle through there. Very good on traction. Down below 60% on the battery. He's 34,000 up right now. And Riles is out of this session right now. Goggy is 2 now. Goggy's crashed.
Goggy's crashed.
Goggy's crashed. Riles retired in the pit lane. So there you go. That's the same spot as Sam, as you just mentioned. Now Jab through turn 5, so Goggy's quest for pole will be no more. Now, Jab, little wide through there to the yellow curb, but will he be improving by the sector 2 split? Right here, lets off the throttle quite a bit. Keeps it valid barely.
Jesus.
Now, sector 2 split, 7,000 up in his time.
He needs to find something.
Go to pole like he did 10 rounds ago in Australia. Off the final corner comes Kostek. Kostek sets a lap for the first time. Kostek goes to second row.
Up to P3 for him.
Next up will be Jab. Jab Bully MSU. Can he go to the top? Can he improve? Currently sits 6th.
Oh, Joe's
Jab
beached.
misses out. Second row. Can Morgan go pole? Morgan goes 5th. He is close as well. Next up is Pluto and Matty Mumu. Pluto invalidated.
Oh, no.
Next up is Matty Mumu, who's improving a ton. Matty Mumu has to keep it mistake-free through the final couple of corners. Now the final corner. Can Matty go in the 17s? No, yes! 18-0.
Pole for him. And
he
Chungus
will go pole for
again.
the second time.
Chungus again. Second. Poor
Matty
Joe.
Mumu
Oh my.
knocks Chungus off of pole. And apologies, that is the first time Matty Mumu is on pole. He becomes our 10th different pole sitter this season. 10th!
Wow. Once again.
And look at how I want to just acknowledge this before you say what you're going to say. Look at how close this field is. All the way to 7th, all the way to 9th.
That
This
is
is insanity.
insanely close. Way close than I thought it was going to be.
Pluto, in the races he's done and started this season, he has not qualified worse than 6th. He keeps that streak going. Jab as well has made Q3 for 9 consecutive times. He also starts in the top 5, along with his teammate who starts 2nd once again. Chungus just continues to miss out on pole. The qualifying merchant himself, I mean, it's really easy to call him a qualifying merchant, but it's also really hard to when he's not got a single pole yet. And I was going to say Matty on pole for the 2nd time because he's been close so many times. Imola last week, just off of the pole, 2/10 off. I know it seems just off, but he was 2nd. Baku, he was 3rd. Hungary, he was, I think, 2nd or 3rd. So Matty Mumu has just been up there constantly. He's going to continue to fight for 2nd place in this championship.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be an interesting race with how close the field is. Now, what tires do you want to be on? That's the big question.
Yeah, most definitely. I hate being interrupted, but no, not by you, not by you.
Oh no, I would
Sure
know.
you know. Sure you know, yeah.
What's going on right now? Every Sunday.
Every time.
All right,
Always have
we
a rush
have
to get my.
we have a song. Augie's AI just decided to pass in the grass.
Well, I want to see if Rowdy's back in the session before we check anything. And Rowdy's car is, so he's good. Is Goggy back in the session is also the question.
Unfortunately, we have another sad one-stop race. It looks like.
Get Goggy back in the session. Goggy needs another invite.
Yep, I'll get him.
Get it back in the session, not the party. Just be careful of that. But
Yeah, no,
anyway,
no.
tires. Here we go. Everybody on either the medium or the hard. The front 2 are on the mediums. The next 2 are on the hards. Then you have the next 4 on the mediums. Then the next 2 running out the top 10 on the hards. And outside of the top 10, Joseph, Polo, and Burning Man all going hards. The rest of the mediums. So let's go over 2 favorites for this race. Who are 2 drivers who will impress the field? Who are 2 drivers who will excel? Who will be ones to watch? Favorites? I mean, who's going to be impressing us today? Well, chat, I want your predictions as well. But mine,
Yeah, chat.
I'm going to go with Matty Mumu. Starting on pole position in the Haas. I must say, he's done an excellent job these last couple of races. Can he be another back-to-back winner today? I think he has a good chance of doing so, and he starts from pole position. Where else would you want to start except from here? I'm also going to go with Morgan, the reserve in the McLaren. Also, another thing for him to note is that he's in a completely different type of league where you have to break early at turn 1. If he can get past turn 1 and get past the safety car restarts with the way those go, I think he'll be okay. If Morgan avoids trouble, if Morgan is out of any sort of chaos in this field, I think Morgan's going to be the one today that we'll have to watch out for, the one to impress people. Considering it's his first start, not much practice going into this race, I think he can contend for a top 5 at the end of this race. That's my 2 picks for today's race. Chat, what's yours? Lando, what's yours?
I'm gonna go with. I'm actually for my 2 favorites. I'm gonna go with both Alfa Romeo drivers. It's about time. I think Goggy has been on it. Obviously, not the Q3 that he needed there. But yeah, I'm probably gonna jinx these guys. But Doggy, he's got the pace to look like to be in that podium position. I did invite him, and hopefully he's joining back. But yeah, just something needs to go right for Sam, and why not choose him? He's got nothing to lose. Last place, and now we wait for probably the.
Goggy's been disqualified. Here we go.
Oh.
Here come the 5 red lights. That's the 2nd time that's happened for him, but here we go. 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Matty Mumu understeers off the line a little bit. Loses traction. Here comes Chungus now. Chungus alongside. He's already going to be alongside him on the run down to turn 1. Can Pluto capitalize as well and his teammate? No, but Chungus goes to the lead already before turn 1. He lost traction off the line. He's got the lead. He's got the lead stolen from him. Chungus has done that. Now exiting wide at turn 3. That was Morgan, I believe. And the McLaren going a bit wide. And off is Thrasher. Off is Surfy. We got cars going off at the exit of turn 3. That is Polo God as well. Both Aston Martins involved.
Oh my. Well, Thrasher said he wanted to hang back. Did not work out for him.
Well, it did not. Both Aston Martins involved as well at the start of this race. Gagi already disqualified, but at the front of this field, it is Chungus who's already pulled out to a 5/10 gap over Matty Mumu, and that is exactly what he's needed. Here's Pluto getting challenged. Here's Morgan challenging Kostag already into 2011. Well, here he comes switching back. Here comes Morgan on the left side at turn number 12. Kostag gives him the space, pitches him out though, but it is Morgan having to yield on that one. Rowdy also getting by Burning Man at the back of the field. Luckily, he didn't get disqualified either. That's Joseph.
Side by side through the chicane.
Joseph's down the order.
And an argy-bargy Sam pushes Calm off track.
Sorry, we just saw Maddie stole the lead from Chungus. Sorry, Maddie just stole the lead from Chungus in the final chicane. Trouble for Chungus that he had that cost him the lead. And you're right about Calm spin, by the way, but that is important at the front. Pluto and Jab is also important because Jab goes ahead. Oh my goodness, so much chaos happening in the first couple of laps. Jab going ahead. Now Pluto getting challenged. And here's Morgan challenging Kostag once again.
Look at Morgan. He's looking to go somewhere. Oh, gets a great run. Good to go around the outside again.
I know we've got a lot of spins throughout the field, but we're going to have to focus on the front of this battle because we just missed out on 2 good overtakes from Jab and Pluto and the other 2 Haas and Williams of Chungus and Maddie for this lead. Here's Aaron Ocon also going by Rowdy and going to go side by side here for a moment into turn 6. You don't usually see a couple of passes there, but you just did.
You seen it here, folks. No overtake through there. And thank you, ESPN. Not what I needed, but absolutely bonkers of a first lap. And
once
Chungus,
we get to the...
He's on the rear diffuser of Maddie now.
I was going to say, once we get to the 3rd lap, you'll have Jab possibly having Pluto out of DRS here. Jab could get Pluto out of DRS, and they'll be able to... Both Williams will be able to attack Maddie for the first time. And I say for the first time because the fact that we've not had a race where both Williams are attacking a Haas driver, really, except for Pluto. Now it's Maddie's turn to be attacked here, as it is lap number 2 complete. Maddie leading that lap, and also the fastest lap for Jab there, I believe.
He's made a mistake. He got loose.
And that is loud. Chungus through. Morgan and on Kostag. Kostag goes out wide.
Wow.
And now that's going to allow Riles to challenge. Riles can't go through right there, and that's going to allow Joe right there too. Yellow flags, that is Surfy. Him and Polo got both pitted under the first lap, had trouble on the opening lap. So it is turning into big issues for them. Yeah, missed the lead.
DRS for Maddie. He's looking pretty close. Chungus pushing out a little wide there. Let's see how good this DRS is down the straight. Not too effective. It'll be way effective coming up.
By the way, we've got 11 cars up at the front of this field, all really within 1.2 of the car in front. All toe-to-toe when you really think about it. Because this is really what I want to see. And what I also want to see is Sam Steed, how many places he gains on the opening lap as Surfy now retires in the pit lane he gives up as he was about to get lapped. Gaining places 2 for Joe, 2 for Atlantis, 9 for Sam, 6 for Aaron. So that is important. Sam up to the points. Now, the lead. Matty Mumu, Chungus, close once again. 2/10 that gap. Now Morgan and Kostag also trying to catch Pluto.
It's crazy right now.
This has also allowed Atlantis under the back of Joe and the Alpine. The Alpines are really being able to challenge here. Oh no! Good start to this race has led to a spin now at turn 3. His teammate goes by. Now that's 10 cars at the front of the field in a little bit of a train. Little mistake there from Chungus, allowing Maddie to get closer. Burning Man also goes by for 12th. So Morgan will have to be careful there on the traction. A little bit of a struggle to start his race, but I'm sure racing with these guys, it gave him a bit of confidence.
Yeah, he was looking to make a move there on, I believe, not Kostag. Somebody.
Pluto. It was Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto.
It was Pluto because he was closest to him, and that would have got, if he got past Pluto, that would have got him closest to the DRS of the front three, which is very important because Pluto is not within that on the hard tires. I know I've noticed a lot this season with Pluto that he has started the races on the hard tires, and I'm gonna tell you that is a smart decision. He is the first guy in hards, and that is also smart. Say if a safety car comes out, and say if for some reason you also have Oh, down the order. Or sorry, that's Polo God is out, but down the order is Kostag.
Oh, he spun too.
At the pit entrance.
I'm making a move here. He gives a little
Joe
look.
goes by Riles. Maddie looks for it. Sam on Atlantis. Ahead of that,
Sam
Riles and Joe. Riles goes ahead of Joe. Yeah, up to 7th. He said to me before this race that he is feeling the most confident he has ever felt this season, which is amazing to hear. But Polo got out, both Aston Martins out now, and the 1-year anniversary weekend that he had won his first ever SRS race, he is out. Asher might continue, I would assume. I don't think he'll give up. We have a spinner of Calm at the back there. He has lost the front of the field. But as I was saying, what Pluto is doing on the hards, starting on the hards almost every single race is a smart decision, and here's why. Once you pit, you get onto the hards, and those hards take forever to warm up. You feel so slow coming out of the pit lane. Pluto is avoiding doing that by using the hards at the start of this race. I don't know if he's meaning to do that, but I'll tell you right now that it is a smart decision from Pluto to do that.
It's a very smart decision, but also now, Maddie's got a face full of behind him of Williams. He gaps him down the straight. Oh, battery's on. Is this an attack now, or is this just to pull away a little bit from Jab? Is he gonna go for another look? Jab is on the better
battery compared to them. Pluto also an even better battery than the front three. So that'll be important to note in this race. Also still contending at the front of the field is the front 9. Sam is in that. Atlantis is in that. That is very good to see from those guys, especially Sam, who has not put together a race this season whatsoever. He may have one podium, but I don't think he's really put together one race that he has fully put together to the extent he could this season so far. Ryle's also losing touch at the front. He's now 3 seconds behind, but he's pulling this train along with him all the way back to 9th place. Aaron as well, a crash in qualifying, also gaining positions at the start. So we'll have to focus on that too. Joseph, Morgan, Kostag also in a little train. Rowdy in that sandwich with both McLarens, both AlphaTauris, but DRS again, Matty Momo can't gain right there. 9 thousandths off that Sector 2 split there, as you saw. So he is still setting fast lap times. As Pluto is losing time on the hards, he will gain it back once the pit stops do come around, but for now, he's at a DRS and he's losing time constantly.
Yeah, Pluto
might not matter right now, but it will later.
Yeah, Pluto's just kind of in his own little area. He's not really sticking on to the front 3, but like you said, within maybe the next 3, 4, 5 laps, that hard tire is going to start coming in. Another thing, overcast conditions and hard tires aren't usually the best, especially when these guys on mediums are going to have to pit. It's going to take a long time. So once again, Pluto, Joe, Kostag, Joseph, Burning Man, Calm, and Thrasher all kind of using a little bit of the long game here, knowing that it's going to take a while for those hard tires to really start cooking. And we have a spinner, and that is Joe. Joe has just gone around in turn 3.
He was in the front pack too.
Yeah. I was going to mention, he's having a good little race. And now it's been undone. But again, not completely out of it.
Yeah, no one really is right now. I would say I could tell you that right now.
Anything can happen.
Which is why I don't get why Surfy really retired, and I can understand he's a reserve. He was about to go a lap down, but if for some reason there is a safety car, you could have drivers be able to recover that gap that he was put down. And I mean, you look at the top 14, 20 seconds between them. But the top 8 seconds. So, you know, it's still a close race. There's still a lot to gain. There's still a lot to go for. And it's still a lot to go for between this lead.
Hold on.
Also, a lap ago on this straight, it was Morgan who got overtaken by the AlphaTauri Joseph. Now it's Chungus getting overtaken by the Haas of Matty Mumu, who retakes the race lead.
Yeah, I was gonna about to say here, Chungus has been having really, really good traction out of the final corner, but Matty just absolutely nailed it there in that second half, just blasted him down. Now what can the Williams do to fight back here? Jab, to be fair, has just kind of been sitting there, while Chungus kind of has been setting the pace of this pack. What can Matty do? Can he crucially get out of this 1 second? If he can, that'll be really hard to do. But
Well, he's got Chungus challenging still. We
Oh,
got yellow
flying
flag for
around
Morgan
again.
once again. But
Morgan,
it is 4/10 DRS once again, 3/10 now. Chungus still closing. But that hot straight line speed will be the thing that is the disadvantage for Chungus. Just like it was a disadvantage for Morgan when he got passed by the AlphaTauri of Joseph. That makes a big difference with these cars, especially at a long
yeah.
straight like Spain on the front straight.
it's going to be difficult, but it does look like the Williams does have enough speed to match the Haas. It's just going to be a matter on, is he going to use the battery? Is he going to go for an attack? Does he want the lead back? He is on
Well,
the
do you play
battery.
the long game or do you not? You know, that's the big question.
Well, you got almost 3 seconds to Pluto, and I think Chungus, yeah, he's turned off the battery. Yeah, and he's lifting. They're thinking the long game now. They're pulling away.
They have to.
Oh, Sam
Another place
made
for
a
Sam.
move for 5th.
On Riles. That
Sam's
is
having a
important because
flyer.
guess what? P19 to P5 already. This kid is really doing amazing right now. I know he's not done a whole lot this season to
Rowdy's
start off,
going
as
down.
Rowdy now spins. I know he's not done a whole lot to start off this season, but him gaining the places he is, he needs to stay there, put his ass to it, and do what he can to go to the front of the field, because right now he's got Pluto, who's right in front of him, and then once you get to Pluto, that's the front three then. It's important for him to have a chance at this race win. Last win for him, round 11 season 1, it is round 11 season 3 this time, so maybe that's just written in the stars for him as Aaron Ocon goes by Atlantis, who spins!
Atlantis is around too. Does he have damage to his car? No,
Don't
he
think
does
so.
not.
But it is just Traction City around here with spinning.
Yeah, it really is the
I
game.
can tell you
of
that.
Keeping the steady foot on. As, once again, another lap, another DRS chance for Chungus. But Matty's almost starting to pull away there. It looks like Matty's definitely taking better control of those tires. Definitely just driving a lot smoother right now than Chungus. But again, it's the long game as Pluto's actually gained a 10th out of these 3 cars. The hard tire is now starting to come in.
That is exactly why I said earlier in the race, it does not matter now that Pluto's time, but it will matter later, because that hard tire will come into effect. If he's losing time later on, that's where the concern is. A 10th up on his first sector personal best for Pluto. Morgan pits, possibly his damage.
And
The also
Matty.
other important thing too to mention is, although Pluto is gaining pace, who else is too? Sam. Sam is gaining pace, and he's also catching Pluto slightly. Not catching him a lot, but he's slightly catching him. And, you know, you also got to mention with Sam, after the motivation he's had, you know, it's really gone from him hardly working to hard work now, and working hard. So that's the big difference in this season for Sam. What it's been like. Now he knows that this is maybe one of his best chances to win a race. And honestly, I'll tell you right now, I think any of the next 4 rounds after this is really a perfect opportunity for him, except for Austria. And I say Austria because that is probably the most pad dominant track you can go to, and Sam is on a wheel. The next 4, besides Austria, suit Sam well, including today. So we'll have to see what that's like. Riles now with the Alpine straight line speed.
Is he looking?
Can he go for it?
You're looking for
He
a
was
half
looking.
lunge there.
But couldn't go for it. 1.9 now to Pluto. So like I said, slowly but surely gaining. And that will matter. Because if he gets himself in a DRS of Pluto, once they're on different tires, what difference does that make when Pluto starts catching the front of the field, if he has the pace to do so in the different tire?
Spinner
Yellow
again.
flags, that is a Red Bull. Joe, again. Trouble on the traction. Now going to get passed by his teammate Burning Man, who's actually doing a good job, I must say. In 12th, keeping his car clean, managing the race very well so far. So I have to give credit to him, but I also have to give credit to the front 3, who are still very close. Chungus made a mistake there in the fast right at the final corner of Sector 2. He was catching Matty right there, very close, but he just lost out right there.
Interesting
Which
to
is also
say
allowed
here.
Pluto the game.
Pluto has actually kind of almost been stuck in a neutral ground. He gains a 10th and then loses a 10th. Then he'll gain 2 tenths and then lose another 2. Just kind of seems like he's just stuck maybe I do think that's because of DRS. Now Chungus on the start of the
I
12th lap now.
I'll be
Pretty
honest.
far
I'll
back.
tell you this right now. I don't think this is. I don't think this is anything to do with DRS. I think it's something to do with the straight line speed of these cars, because Matty applied overtake for quite a bit of that straight. Chungus only applied it for a second. You saw the difference that made in the straight line speed with their cars. That Haas is always going to be faster than the Williams in a straight line. Chungus
yeah.
almost has to use his overtake button in order to pass Matty Momo. If he doesn't use his overtake button and pass Matty Momo, it will be a big surprise and will be a big welcome to Matty and the Haas boys. I will tell you that right now. And look, I know it might be looked at like, hey, you know, you're spacing it off the straight line speed. You know, what if their setups are different? Very true. The wings could be very different, but the big complier in this is also a matter of two Williams attacking one Haas, but also the straight line speed from those Williams boys. They're gonna have to use their buttons in order to pass Matty Momo. You can see you see how much Chungus gained right there on that back straight. Not a whole lot, but still a little bit. That's the difference it needs to make there in order for him to gain.
I do think though that with this ground effect, obviously, I wish, again, I'm gonna keep on repeating it, but if we had the day one handling model that everybody loved with these cars, I do think with the wing level, just because of the ground effect, you don't really need to rely on high wings anymore. You can run low wings.
Chungus, fastest lap. Are we seeing someone else trying to take this race lead back? He is closing in with DRS. Look at the difference DRS is making. Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough. But now it's becoming effective, though, because you're late in the run on the tires. You're like very careful out of the final corner on traction. So whatever run you get out of the final corner on traction will matter how powerful the DRS could be. With pit stops soon to come, too. Also, a position trade between Joe and Burning Man right there. Joe goes back ahead. Rowdy also on the fringe of points as we stand right now, meaning Joseph has also gone up to the points after his spins. Kosteg spins, you know, they're close right there. And Sam, 2.3 now to Pluto. So we've been focusing on that gap as Atlantis. There you go. Track limits, lap 13, Atlantis. But as we've been focusing on Sam and Pluto losing a little bit of time to the front of the field. Not a whole lot, but if they continue to battle more, Pluto will gain time. If they don't battle, then Pluto will continue to slowly but surely lose time or just stay consistent with where he's at. Sam has only lost 3/10 in the last couple laps, which is not a lot, but considering they'll be changing tires, changing compounds with Sam to the hards, Pluto to the mediums, that could be big. That also matters on how their in-laps are and once they pit. We come on to lap 14 now this time, and nobody is pitting just yet as I expected, but we should be seeing it around the halfway point.
Yeah, interesting.
Ryle's also losing time too. Say.
I was gonna say here, it almost for a little while there almost looked like it was gonna be a two-car race between Matty and Chungus right now, because Jab last couple laps is ever so slightly kind of slowly starting to fade off, which is not what the Williams team needs here. They need to apply as much pressure as they can, because this is working in their favor at the moment. Obviously, it would be better if they were in the lead, but
Atlantis, who just got the most recent penalty, also pitting for the first time in this race. He goes to the hards, so that may lead to an undercut around the Joseph Kostag area, maybe the Rowdy area. Preferably the Rowdy area, because he was on the mediums, Atlantis was, and Rowdy's also on the mediums, so that will be something to watch out for. Riles also gained a little bit on Sam. Sam also lost a little bit right there on Pluto.
Burning Man. Around in the
That's this first spin. I complimented on how well I complimented him on how well he was doing. Now he spun out, so yeah. Also a little bit of a DRS train forming between Aaron, Kostag, and Joseph. That's important if there's a safety car, let alone if anything happens to anybody in the front five, they can take advantage. But the front three, Matty Momo's in. Yep, he is in. Chungus, Jab, they're good. They stay out. Pluto, now it's attack time on the Williams. Riles is in. Sam stays out. Aaron Ocon is in.
Aaron's coming in. This is it now.
Can't speed. You got
it. Might have been the best though for Williams.
There you go.
Both cars got DRS down that straight.
Correct.
And
now they have to DRS off each other. Jab using that overtake button. Chungus also below 50% for a second there. Question I want to look out for is where's Riles going to come out? Riles comes out behind Rowdy, who is yet to pit, but Aaron is coming out ahead of Burning Man, so that's important to that race too, considering how much the undercut could be powerful here.
Well,
easy, medium, hard, as you could tell.
Spinner.
But
Rowdy.
Rowdy.
Joe's making a move here
Here's
on
Joe
Riles.
and Riles. Yep, that's
Full
important to
tires.
know. Joe down the inside. I told you. That's why I said that Pluto always starts on the hards, and that's why it's important for him to always start on the hards. Like I said, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that is why it is important, because that overtake right there was almost done and dusted easily for Joe, and it was
Might
done
drop
and
him out of
dusted.
DRS too. And it does not favor the conditions that we have right now. Overcast,
No, it doesn't.
fresh hards, cold hards.
Jab stays out.
Here we go.
Chungus pits. Is Sam pitting? Sam is in. Sam executes that nice as well. Both AlphaTaris, surely they'll stay out again, but let's focus on where Chungus and Sam will come out in comparison to Matty and Memo. They both, of course, obviously go to the hard tire. Aaron Ocon with a track limit penalty,
Matty.
the second one to do so. Matty off the final corner. Chungus out of the pit lane now. This could be neck and neck. Chungus slides, though. That may compromise him.
Has he just
Here
done
they
the
go,
overcut?
side by side. Side by side out of the pit exit. Oh, there's almost contact. But Chungus stays ahead, and he's going to have to warm up those tires. Sam goes ahead of Riles easily, but here comes Matty at turn 3. Chungus trying to cover this up. Matty down the inside of turn 4. Can Matty go through? Yes, he can.
Yes. Wow.
Now it's important
That
for
got really
Jab to
close.
get a good in lap 2. Correct.
Really
yeah.
good in lap there.
And crucially, there's a car splitting Joe and Riles. There's a car splitting Sam and Riles, which is Joe. That is important to that battle. There for 7th place.
And this is getting very intense
Both
now. And if I'm
McLaren's
Jab,
also
I'm
close.
boxing.
Here's Jab. Yeah, there you go, easily. Yeah, I had to pit a lap after your teammate right there.
Oh.
And Morgan
Uh-oh.
Cheeseman is out of this race. Is this going to bring out a safety car? It will bring out a virtual. So this, at least at a minimum, helps Jab.
Now.
Correct. So this will help Jab. This could possibly get him out to the lead, and this could help him in the championship. 46 points behind Pluto entering this race right now, as they would stand if he were to be 3rd and Pluto were to be 4th. That's 43, where they were. Now he exits the final corner. He's in the lead.
The
Net
delta
lead,
was
sorry,
so
net
bad that it actually caused some of the cars to actually have to come to a complete stop.
Yeah,
that gave
Kostek
Jab-
and Joseph pit for the mediums. Yeah.
That gives Jab
Good.
about a 10-second lead on Matty.
Wow.
The VSC Delta has quite literally just destroyed some people's. And this
And this
really
also
helps.
means this will help Pluto severely too, because guess what? Where Pluto would projectably come out is right around 4th, but farther ahead of Sam than he would have been. So this is big to this race. Wow. Holy cow. Wow. And this VSC is out for pretty long, I will say. It should be coming in anytime soon, but it's not. Now, Matty, Mimo, and Chungus have to run with it. But this is also a crucial help to the championship if Matty and Chungus can hold off Pluto. Because if Jab wins this race somehow, and Pluto is only a best of 4th, that's 13 points right there as DRS is enabled. That's 13 points. That means that's now a 33-point gap at that point. Meaning with 4 races left, all Jab would have to do is basically
Look at a box here.
gain less than 10 points per race. Is Pluto going to box here?
No,
No,
just stay.
he does not.
He's gonna go for an
But
overcut.
how much time did he lose under the VSC? Because his gap now to Chungus is 18 seconds, and it was originally 21 at one point. So how much did they really have to slow down under that VSC? Because Matty's now caught up to 7 seconds. That VSC did really play a big dividend.
Now it's catch now. Chungus
It
needs
is
to stay
also
with
catch
Matty.
for Kostek too. Because
Yes.
if Kostek somehow stays in this championship fight for longer than he would, he's also, what, 50 some odd points behind?
Here we
But
go.
he needs to pass these cars in order to have a chance. Here's
Joe.
Riles on Joe before turn 1 to the left
Outside.
side. Gonna go around the outside. Can he do it? Joe might pinch, but Riles has the inside line for turn 2. Gonna be side by
Contact.
side. Joe gets pushed out. Here's Riles ahead, though.
Let's
Can
go,
Kostek take advantage of turn 3? No, not yet. But Joe is gonna try to challenge this back and cannot. So what is important for this, though, is the fact that Matty, although he's 7 seconds behind, here's Kostek and Joe side by side. Contact
Little door
made.
bang there. Job done now.
Touching leads Kostek ahead. But an important thing in this race to mention is if Matty can pull along Chungus this whole time and gain on Jab, at least if Jab makes a mistake, that is important that they pulled each other along with DRS, as Chungus is about to lose it.
Interesting thing here. The gap between Maddie and Jab has almost come down a second.
Here's a yellow flag for Burning Man now. Burning Man is now spun.
Wiggle out of, big wiggle out of Chungus, and Chungus is out of DRS. Chungus is out of the DRS.
Yeah, there you go. That is crucial for this race, especially for the Williams boys to fight the Haas drivers. Now you have Kostag here. Overtake button engaged. We saw a fastest lap from somebody there. That fastest lap was from Joseph. Now it's Joseph this time. But here's Kostag on Riles. Kostag goes through. He's ahead for 6th place on the fresher medium tires. So this is just a preview of what Pluto could be doing once he pits for the mediums. But the gap between Pluto and Chungus, 17 seconds. We got yellow flags. That's Joe.
Again.
He could be stuck. He's not, luckily. Now it is up to Riles. Where he would come out.
Where will he?
He'd come out 4th. But the question is, will they come out near Sam, or will they come out closer to Chungus?
Oh, Atlantis.
More yellow flags.
In the barriers.
That is Atlantis. You're correct. Yes.
No front wing.
So he has got no front wing. Yeah, he will have to pit. He has spun it again. That was not good. He's gonna have to get back going. And you're gonna have to get to the pit lane. Does he have a... No, he doesn't have a puncture. I was gonna say, if he had a puncture, that could be the reason there. But he may have rear wing damage with the way... I was gonna say, with the way he's trembling, he might have rear wing damage. So that could also be a big compromise to his race.
Very big. Yeah. Now...
Well, Ryle's still staying DRS to Kostag. Kostag not DRS to Sam yet, even though he's within a second. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is really gonna be close now. Jab not really gaining, believe it or not, on Pluto as much as you would think. This is really starting to turn into Pluto's race, as Maddie's starting to gain a little bit here and there, but it's not much.
Kostag, now it's his chance to gain on Sam Steed, pitting his QBR20 Joe, going on to the mediums. A safety car could definitely change this race. We saw that in my old league of ARL, where it was completely wet for the whole time. The safety car at the beginning. Atlantis with a 5-second, by the way. This could lead to a retirement. It has. That is the 5th different retirement in this race. But, now, I was going to say, the thing for safety cars with this race. My old league, it was wet. Spain, Season 3. Round 11, I believe, too. But the thing for that race, though, was that there was the safety car at the beginning. Then it was, like, completely safety car free until the last couple laps where there was controversy. With a driver who had his controller have issues at the end of the race. Meaning you're racing with a broken device, which isn't allowed in this league, by the way, just to mention that. So, just thought I'd clear that up. But here's the point here, though.
Oh, here we go.
Pluto
is in
with a safety car. I know. Well, here's the thing. Pluto with a safety car. This would even hurt Kostag. You wanna know why? Because he's on the mediums, and I know he have fresher tires, but it'd become equal playing ground with Kostag, and Kostag doesn't need that. Kostag is gonna gain on Sam here, but Pluto, like I was saying, with him, if he gets to a point where he can extend and there's a safety car, he can easily go. I don't know what the tire wear will be like, but he could go softs. Let's put that scenario out there. Calm pits for mediums. But let's also put the scenario out there that he doesn't pit for softs, he pits for mediums. He still has a pace advantage. He'll be in the lead, and if nobody stays out on him, you know, that's easily his game then. You know, so that's where that comes in. That is where that is crucial, and that's why that is worth noting if it does happen. 8.5 is the gap between Jeb and Pluto now, but the gap between Chungus and Pluto is now closed down to 16.5. So Pluto's going to have to use these last 11 laps when he does pit to gain on Chungus. Where he'd come out, he'd be ahead of Sam, but Sam isn't going to gain that much on him with Kostag challenging him right now. We may have an overtake down this front straight with these two, with Riles following suit.
Oh, really good exit by Sam, actually.
Kostag got a better one.
Now Sam staying in
that
place.
is crucial. Look at the straight line speed, the difference between the AlphaTauris. Well, with the AlphaTauris earlier in the race with Joseph and Morgan. Now, he spins him!
No.
Oh, my goodness. Bad judgment from Kostag. I'm telling you right now, that was bad judgment.
Yeah.
Sam's near perfect race ends in
Just got
tears.
walked out, yeah.
But
He's still on the
luckily, he
points,
still has
though.
a chance for points, so that's good too. I know he's not going to be happy with Kostag. I feel like, I must say, I feel like the driver he's collided with most, and when it comes to this season, let alone this league, has been Kostag. You know, those two just cannot get away from each other. And speaking of not getting away from each other, since the start of the stint for Kostag, he's not got away from Riles, and Riles is still challenging in this Alpine. Could
Riles
take
has been
Alpine's
holding it.
best finish of the season with Riles. Now Pluto pits. So this will be important to
go.
watch. But yeah, that changes the running order completely there with that, with the gap between Pluto to Sam. You know, I mean, that changes that. Jab passes him for the lead. Pluto pits. Pluto's under the mediums. So what can he do in these last 11 laps?
Let's go by, and importantly, Pluto is gonna have some really clean track in front of him now. He won't have to worry
Very
about Kostag
crucial.
and Riles.
But
And he's
what's
on
the gap between him and Chungus?
compound.
Is it 5 seconds?
It is
it's 5
4,
seconds.
5. It is now 5 seconds.
I was gonna say, if it's 5 seconds, that's not as bad of a gap as he would have to gain without the VSC. Just remember that. Because if the VSC doesn't happen, though, think about the time he could have gained or lost. If he gained time under that VSC, this helped him. If he didn't,
Always.
and there you go. But it doesn't help. It doesn't obviously it doesn't help him for the lead either, because look what's happened with Jab and Matty now, and Chungus has now got himself in DRS once again for second place in this race. Can we see a Williams 1-2?
It might happen, but no.
You have to bring it up.
It's almost 6 seconds, and these tires for Pluto are gonna warm up right now. This is where you need to have the gap coming down, and it's starting to come down now. It's gained a 10th.
He needs to push,
It's starting.
like he did in Britain in the wet conditions, and at Bahrain on the different compound
Whoa.
to catch the drivers in front. Chungus still with DRS. Riles will still have DRS possibly. Yes, he will, yeah. So he's not giving up 5th place here with Kostag, and especially considering Kostag could be facing a post-race penalty with the contact with Sam. I would assume so if Sam reports that. That could be 5th place for Riles, and that would bring Alpine their best finish with Riles specifically. They have not had a podium this season, but they've not had this best of a finish with Riles specifically. Riles has struggled this season up until recently, so I think he's starting to turn it around, and I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, he's been holding strong right now in P6 really the majority of the race. He's just been kind of there. He's definitely giving
quiet.
both AlphaTauris a little bit of a silent fight.
He's always been on the fringe of points, and he always looks like he always is. He's always right there. He's always someone who is right there at the end of these races, whether it's for the win or not. Last season, he looked like he probably was the favorite for the championship, didn't win it. But the thing is, in those races he was in, even missing a race, he was still in championship contention. Even though he missed the race, missed the race of Britain, he was still right there in the fight. He was still right there in all those races. He never gave up whatsoever. And speaking of never giving up, Chungus is not giving up this fight for DRS yet. He has gained it. Look at the gap. 7 tenths now between him and Matty Memo, as Matty Memo is continuing to charge on Jab. It was below 6 seconds for a moment. Now Jab gained that lap. It is 6.3. We are looking for a Williams 1-2 today. This would be the second 1-2 finish in league history, as now
he's
Pluto,
coming.
if this were to happen,
shit.
but as Pluto...
Man.
as Pluto sets the fastest lap right there, that is a 6/10 gain, so he could spoil the 1-2 party, let alone the double Williams
He
podium.
gained some big time, massive time actually. As Ringman I think is beached. No, he's just waiting.
Good idea. You don't want to come up in front of other cars considering you're ghosted.
Yeah. But Pluto's
Just trying
on
to
it
get off the
right
track
now.
there, so there you go.
He can find another second on this lap like he did before.
And you can
This
tell
will be
too because
interesting.
he's just continuing to extend that gap on Kostag, or at least he was for a moment, because Kostag's on 6 lap older mediums than Pluto is. Pluto, the gap is down to 4.4.
Oh
I don't
my.
think he can catch Jab, but what he can do is catch his teammate, and this would mean that the gap in the championship would change from 33 points to possibly 36 to possibly 39. So that's why Pluto gaining these positions are important. In the last 5 races for Pluto, he has scored 41 points. The first 5 races for Pluto, 119.
Now,
That is why it is important for him to do what he can today to get a podium, let alone gain
for a
these guys.
fastest lap attempt.
That's important. That's very important for him. And I say that because currently with the fastest lap is Pluto. That's also an extra championship point for Pluto. 13 points it is for him. Right now, as things stand, 34 points in the championship between Jeb and Pluto. We saw Sam Seed gain a place in, gain points in the championship late in season 1. I was gonna say gain a place because Brenneman retired, but gain points in the championship late in the season. Sam did that, and Sam recovered the gap to single digits at the final race at Portugal in season 1. With the championship gap being as big as it was, Jeb is only hoping to do that today in Spain with 4 races remaining after this. If he can get the gap down to, say, 37 points, and let's say it is a double Haas podium, he at least has less work to do it. That means less than 10 points per race.
Here's something interesting with that. If I'm Maddie, I was gonna say, like, he's starting to start gaining now on Jab, but, like, I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe do you want to back up the pace a little bit, get Pluto right there, have
not really, because
but
you have to still consider Jab making a mistake of some sort.
Yeah, but I wonder if
you still
Maddie's
have to consider
maybe
that.
think about that as a
if
Jab.
For some reason though, let's go ahead. Sorry.
Looks like Jab was giving Thrasher some URS because that gap just went massively down from 6.3 to now 5.7.
Thrasher gets out of the way there. It's going for fast lap. Thrasher can't interfere here. Remember that. So that is important to note. If you're a lap car, you can't interfere with the leader, but he is staying right behind Jab, I think. But no, as mentioned, you mentioned Pluto right there with Matty. What I think the smart thing to do is, though, if he realizes by like lap 31 or 32, if he can't catch Jab and the gap is still over 5 seconds, what the smart thing to do here, if I'm Matty and Pluto is 1.2, 1.3, is to back up a little bit to the point where Pluto can get at least DRS to at least get Chungus, because then you let by your teammate. Then that depends on what game the Haas are kind of playing here. But even then, he's not gaining as much as he originally was, because look at the gap, 3.8. He still can gain a lot though, depending on what Matty does, because that's what it's going to contradict on. But right now, it's just not enough. Jab.
Yeah.
Final corner right now. Lap 28. Thrasher. Is it going to be fastest lap?
Big slide out of Matty.
No.
This could be the chance right here for Chungus. Here we go. All eyes
Chungus
straight. Here he goes.
Spoil Matty is stealing away the 1-2. Chungus. It's now Williams 1-2. That is perfect. But the bigger thing for Matty and the bigger thing for Pluto is more battery left with a car that has tons more straight line speed. So now Matty can't. So now here's the thing though. Matty can't rely on what I just mentioned. Matty has to fully attack Chungus in order for Pluto to gain. Or let's buy Pluto for the podium. If that's what Haas are wanting to do. I'm not saying they should do that, but I'm saying if that's what their plan is for the championship. Because I know the championship might not be close, but Sam gained so many points within the last 4 or 5 races of the season that it was almost unheard of. Jab could be repeating the same thing right now. And this gap from Jab, 5.4, it's not unheard of from a driver like Jab, but it's unheard of in this league. So you rarely have days like this, and if Jab can continue to put on performances like this, let alone win this race, that is important for the championship. So there you go.
Good. This is going to be crucial down the straight, because I don't know if you saw it there, but Chungus is kind of starting to blink now. Below the battery. Optimal battery now. 10%.
And as Thrasher continues to go for the fastest lap, Jab will get the DRS right there. So that is important for Jeb. And the good thing for Thrasher is that Thrasher's almost a second out, so he wouldn't be too much on the break for blue flags. You said, here we go. Second place is here we go. Matty gaining a little bit, but can't gain enough. 3.6 now for Pluto. So yeah, Pluto's going to have a big mistake in order to gain. Thrasher now is spun. He's beached it.
He's got it going.
This could be big for his race. He's going to have to reverse, but he can't.
He's actually
stuck. Up in higher gears to get out. Oh boy. He's actually stuck. Yeah, you're right.
No, this isn't fair.
He can't reset the track, or else it'll be a penalty. If he at least resets and he finishes this race, yeah, there you go, disqualified. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You can't reset in this league, as I mentioned. If you're in a position like he was, where you're stuck. But the thing is, if he resets, he gets a 10-second and a 5-second with it. He at least finishes his race with that, though. If he were to get a penalty for that, so he risked not getting a penalty and trying to continue back on. I can understand the frustration there for him not being able to reset. But he could also take the penalty and finish this race still. That was up to him. So that is also something to mention. I know you wouldn't want penalty points on your license, everything else, but it's something worth to mention though. And you can see Pluto within the distance now. The gap is down to 3.1. The gap with Riles and Joseph is also close because that is for 5th place. That is important. Aaron ahead of Sam with a penalty. There you go, 5.1.
Yeah, Matty was all over Chungus there in the final sector, and he just lost it a little in the chicane. You can't be doing that if you want to disrupt this Haas 1-2. Not Haas 1-2, Williams 1-2.
Williams 1-2, yeah.
Oof.
Well, it's a Haas 3-4, so it's still a good day for them in the constructor standings if you think about it, though. 2.8 now, that gap. Riles also still staying within DRS of Kostag and Joseph. But yeah, with the retirements, we are now down to, I would say 6. With, well, 12 finishers, but 6 retirements, 1 disqualification.
Come on,
I'd say Thrashers is technically a retirement because you can't can't fix that one. Yeah, you're right. Calm on Rowdy for 10th place. This is for points.
Ooh.
Calm on the fresher mediums. Rowdy on older hards, trying to get McLaren some points here today. And what is important for points as well to note is Alpine, who are last in the constructors, a 6th place finish for them today would be an incredible run for them. Rowdy will still stay ahead of Calm. The battle now for 2nd place is continuing to heat up as Jab now reaches 3 laps to go this time. 2.3 now for Pluto. So Pluto is still continuing to gain.
Yeah. All this battling is making Pluto's eyes just open up more, and you can see him. And
but
here we
he's
go.
Going to have to gain continuously. Can Matty spoil the 1-2 party for Williams? He goes alongside. He goes
right
through.
Back around him again.
Going to have to take another mistake from Matty to gain it. And that is important, especially considering Pluto is now 4th and closing. And now Matty can do what he can to realize, hey, I can't catch Jab. Now it's time to do what I can for my teammate to hold off Chungus. Will he pull Perez Abu Dhabi? Or will he just continue just to hold him off for his sake to gain 2nd in the championship? That could be important for Matty to note too. Is he going for himself or is he going for Pluto more? Or is he going for both? Because you can do both at the same time technically.
This is true.
It's a matter of what Haas want to do.
Here we go.
That
again.
is important to think about.
Rowdy and Calm. Both of the most draggiest cars on the F1 game.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, Joe, I think, is pitting for the fastest
Joe
lap, by
is,
the way.
yes.
4.8 now for the lead. Chungus continuing to gain. He's closing in. Pluto's also closing in 2.1 now.
Over there.
So Pluto will have to gain a 2nd in these last couple laps, but considering how close these two have been battling, that can still happen. 1.9. If he gets himself within DRS of the final lap, that can be crucial considering how close these two are. Chungus closing in. Lost a little bit of time with that slide. Overtake button engaged for Chungus. Same with Matty.
Chungus using more of the battery. He's
Matty
gonna go for
let
the
off
move.
of it though. Here he comes. 2nd place again. Pulls to the left
Got
side.
really
Gonna go
close.
around the outside for this. Can they keep it side by side? There's contact.
Oh, and he
They're
turned
both around.
Oh, he turned up damage for both cars.
Now Pluto goes through for 2nd place in this race. That is crucial.
Is Matty gonna stay out?
Knocked off the podium.
Matty's gonna have to stay out.
Does he have damage on the right end plate?
He does.
Yeah, he
does
does.
have damage, but he has a. Let's look. He's got 5
Riles
seconds.
overtakes Kostag for 5th.
Go on.
If there's a post-race penalty for Chungus or for Matty, or Chungus loses time on this last lap, we could be seeing Riles. As Chungus does not have damage, Matty does though. Okay, I was gonna say, we could be seeing Riles take his first 3rd place finish. He has completed 17 of the 20 positions to get the all-20. 3rd is the next one he's looking for, closest in this race. So that's important to note if there are post-race penalties, as Jab will reach the final lap this time.
This is getting intense now. Last lap. Can Chungus get back to Matty? He's got 4 seconds.
I find it hard to tell if that was more contact model or not, but I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that one.
Yeah, we'll get a clip of that.
We will. Surely.
So we're on to the final lap. Riles against Kostag. Kostag using the battery. This is it right here.
Oh, he's gaining a lot. Here he
Big
comes.
gain.
Here he comes. Gonna get him at turn 1. Gonna go for a
it's turn
dive from
1.
Kostag. Keep it. No, Riles stays ahead. But Kostag uses the curb to his advantage at turn 2, goes to turn 3, can't get through just there,
Oh, he's
just yet,
washed
gonna
up.
go wide!
But then washed up.
Now it's a chance for Joseph to capitalize.
He's got one more chance down this next straight. So it looks like Matty will hold on to P3 as long as nothing crazy happens here in the final couple corners.
Common Rowdy as well was close, but I think Rowdy will keep the spot for now.
Here we go.
We've
One
got to
last
flick
time.
back to our race winner this race. We saw a race winner at race number 20 in this league. We see a race winner, new race winner at number 30 in this league. A race number 30 in this league. Jab. It is finally a race victory for him. And the time he needed it most, Jeb Bully MSU is a race winner again. And he wins it for the first time in URS. Pluto crucially takes second place. Matty Mumu is third. And Chungus misses out on the Williams 1-2. But Jab, a first-time winner for him. Riles takes P5. Then it's Kosteg. Then Joseph. And can Sam get Aaron on the last moment at the line? It will be 8th for Aaron,
good.
9th for Sam.
Last chance
Still
here
a
for
battle
Colin
for 10th
Rowdy.
place. There you go. Rowdy keeping it close.
Oh!
Tom. Whoa, over the curb.
And
Rowdy
Rowdy's
takes
gonna hold
10th
on.
place.
What
For
a
the last
cro-
point.
Oh,
There you
he's
go.
gonna hit the car. Oh, didn't.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, man.
That pick goes hard though. 9th, 10th,
Yeah,
and 11th
definitely.
right there, just all stopped.
Yeah. So now the championship gap is now down to 40 points, meaning Jeb has to beat Pluto 10 points per race now. It can be doable. Finally, he's a race winner. That is another new race winner this season.
Indeed.
That he now becomes our 8th different winner of the season. Williams have now won in every season of the league. Impressive, I must say. And QBR20 Joe, by the way, steals the
Did get
fastest
the
lap,
fastest lap.
meaning the championship is now 30. So there you have that.
Interesting.
So there you go. There you have it. Feels like a while for Jeb that he hasn't won, but it's been a while here in URS he hasn't won, and now he is finally a race winner. It's important for him, especially at this stage of the season, for him to finally win. It's really the time he needed it most, if you think about it.
Yep.
So there you have it. We'll get Matty and Momo in a Discord call, and we will talk about his third place finish first.
Yeah, you can just invite his Xbox account, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Unless he's through the Xbox app though, because Xbox app won't be able to include audio.
That's what we use. Fine.
But he wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't include audio through Xbox app usually. Yeah. Yeah. So let me get him to a Discord call. Matty, Momo, and others have started following you. Matty, are you through the Xbox app right now or no?
Yeah, on my PC.
Will it allow you to include audio?
Yeah.
Does it give you the option? It does?
It
Okay, let me
does,
just
it
make sure it's heard
does.
through the stream. Because usually for shot it wouldn't. So that's why I want to make sure. Alright, talk.
Hello, my name is. I don't know.
Alright, you're good. Yep, you're good. Yep, you're good.
Yeah, no.
Alright, let's go with it. P3 for you. I know at the end of the race is something we'll talk about a lot, but the First part in question was the VSC. The VSC definitely allowed Jab to get the gap he did. Did you feel like you had enough to hold off both Williams drivers today, considering they gave you a big fight?
Um, Definitely Chungus. I don't know how fast Jab was because he stayed in P3 at the start of the race, so I didn't know his true pace. But yeah, the VSC, well, it's just inevitable. That's why I started on mediums in case something like that happened. But what can you do? I hope I get to keep the P3, but yeah, we'll see.
Speaking on the contact with Chungus on the, believe it was the penultimate lap, you two collided at turn 1 and at turn 2 that allowed Pluto to take the podium. What happened there between you and him to cause the collision? Do you feel like you gave him enough room, or do you feel he didn't give you enough room? What did you feel?
From what I remember, he just went around by outside at turn 1, and oh, I've just rewatched it. But yeah, he got alongside me quite late down the straight, so I was right on the curb, and it just bounced him off me, and I went into the side pod of him, so I got front wing damage. But uh, we'll see. It's a shame it had to end like that, but yeah.
And lastly, the constructors title is coming closer and closer and closer for you guys to win. With a second and third place finish today, you guys don't allow Williams to gain on you guys as much. The question has to be asked: how do you feel like you've done since coming into this league to help Haas extend their constructors lead?
Yeah, I mean, previous driver Brute Gorgon, I feel like I've done a bit better than he did. Uh, Finishing first, second, now third, fourth, and fourth in the sprint. It's not bad, and a pole today. So, yeah, I mean, we were already winning before I came in, and now we're winning by even more. So, I think it's been a success.
I would hope so. Congratulations on the podium. Lando, any questions?
Yeah, the only question I got is when that VSC came out, from what I saw on the full track map, did you have to come to a complete stop with how bad the delta was?
Yes, I did, and Pluto and probably a few others did as well, because I don't know what happened, but like I was minus 3 seconds on the delta and it just wouldn't seem to go down. But yeah, no one got a penalty, I don't think, so it worked out.
Wow, a little interest in there in the last couple laps, but I think that was contact model. Other than that, great race by you, and hopefully we see you on podium more often.
Thank you.
Yeah, I must say, Curtis is happy to see you on the podium, so congratulations on that once again. Good to see him in chat as well. All right,
Love
Lando,
that,
have a go
man.
at Pluto for second place in this race.
Um, Pluto, P2, started on the hard tire. What was just the main way to go? Was it to go long, or was it just to see how the race would unfold? And how did the car
Well,
feel on those tires?
yeah, I wanted to go different to Matty because I didn't want to have a kerfuffle with the strategy. Yeah, the hard actually felt really good. I was sticking with the front pack within 3 seconds the whole time, I think, or nearly 3 seconds the whole time. So yeah, I was looking really good for a fight back to the end. It's just a shame about that VSC because Jab got so far ahead and it made it a two-way fight instead of a three-way fight. A three-way fight would have slowed him down so much, so I think I would have caught with a good 4 laps to go maybe. And then that would have been a real fight.
Yeah, but when you got on those medium tires, you were absolutely flying. Do you think you would have gotten up there to Maddie and Chungus if the contact didn't happen?
It would have been close. I think I would have gone to the back of them on the last lap because they weren't really fast until late on, so they were just DRSing off each other, which is annoying for me. But yeah, I might have caught up at the end, But if it was like I said, if it was a three-way fight with Jab in it, he would have been like 4 laps before the end, maybe.
Yeah. Ryan, any questions for Pluto?
Yeah, I do. I know. You mentioned about Jab winning the race. I know that's probably not I wouldn't say your main focus toward your race, but I do have to ask after the race about this. You won with that team for Williams. You won with them once in season 1, won with them once in season 2, and now he wins with them this season to keep that streak alive for winning it every season. Do you think that's a good stat to have, considering you were the one who started that?
It was a stat. I'll tell you that. I'm not
Winning every season.
entirely that fussed.
The team
Yeah,
winning. The team winning every season.
yeah, I'm not entirely
Williams.
fussed about it, but I guess it's pretty nice.
And my last question for you is, I know the difference in car placements makes a difference between season 1 and season 3 with you having to defend your lead. But besides that, what's the difference between you having to defend your lead from Jab in this season, now with 4 races remaining, compared to you having to defend Sam with a similar lead back in season 1 now?
Everyone's in the car.
Well, there you go. I don't have any more questions then, if that's all you have. But
By the way, qualifying was
congratulations.
fantastic. The top 9
I know.
was it?
I know.
3/10, and
Yeah.
then Joe was just a bit stinky at the back there. Little melonhead stealing my fastest lap at the end. It would have been the fastest lap I had in the league. That first one.
That would be the first, yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame.
No, I believe I can check the stats correct, but I don't think any champion has taken a fastest lap at all in this league. I don't think
It's
Davis
because
has
everyone
taken
always
one,
pits
so-
at the end of the race to get it.
I
Even when
know,
they're in
I know.
12th for some
Well,
reason.
hey, Sam took a fastest lap Imola season 1, so sometimes
we
it's
all
not
know how
always
that
that way.
championship ended, don't we?
I know. We do. Anyway, congratulations,
Thank you.
and hopefully we can see a good last 4 races from you
Hope so.
defending that lead. Jab, now on to you.
Yes, sir.
You are a race winner finally. I know the VSC. I want to know how much you paid them. I do want to know how much you paid them. But first, before we get to that, though, I have to ask: your race overall, your race to win for the first time. How did it feel? Did you just feel like this was the one? What were the circumstances today to do that?
Well, actually, it was kind of the opposite because, early on, I was just sitting in the DRS. It's a DRS train, you can't really do much. So I didn't really know how fast I could really go. In qualifying, obviously, I had a good lap, but I just couldn't do sector 1. I was like 2 to 3 tenths off in sector 1 on my final lap. But, yeah, I didn't really think it was going to happen. Then, if Chungus would have pitted earlier, I actually wouldn't have stayed out that long. But since he stayed out extra lap, I had to go an extra lap, and then I see VSC coming, and then that's when I knew I had it in the bag. But I was just praying. Now another safety car come out, and we finally win.
Yeah, so it took you quite a bit. Race number 20, we had a first-time winner. Race number 30, we had a first-time winner. Ironic enough, Pluto has finished second in both those races. But I have to mention, last week I talked about the championship gap going from 61 points to 46. This week it goes from 46 to 39. I know Pluto missing last week helped your chances a lot more, but with you winning today, what do you see now heading into the final 4 races of France, Austria, Japan, and Abu Dhabi for your championship hunt to try to recover this gap?
Well, I kind of wish that Chungus and Mamu, didn't hit each other. Yeah, that would have been even more points. But 39-point gap, pretty much. If I win every race and Pluto finish third, with no fastest lap, I can take it. But I doubt that's gonna happen. He's really consistent. And we all know that Haas straight line speed, just amazing. So I'm gonna need him to miss another race or something, and we'll just have to see what happens.
And my last question for you regards your 17 races in this league. Now, this being number 18, I have to ask about that. The dry spout you had for the longest time of not scoring a single podium finish, just being fourth constantly, then to the podium, then it was like a question of when are you going to win. You finally won. Does it feel good to get that off your back now to go try to get some more in the final 4 races?
Finally, yeah, because There've been many races where I've been in position, one's hungry, knowing how penalties went out at the end. If me and Polo never have contact, I probably went off penalties at least. And just didn't have the luck. And finally today, got the luck I needed and finally got it. And that's a lot of pressure off, because those were the longest, like 10, 15 laps, like ever. Cause I was just waiting on a safety car that come out. But we finally able to do it. Beat Chungus to doing it. What a fraud. And yeah, we'll see what happens in these next couple of races.
Well, congratulations, Jabuli MSU. How about you, Lando? Any questions?
Yeah, the only question is, if that VSC didn't come out, and you were behind those two, do you think you could have gotten by them, the pace that you had?
Um, well, it would have been. We'll see where I came out because with them battling before I came to the pits, I don't know if I would have been ahead of them with cold tires or behind them. If I came out ahead of them, I probably would have been able to slow them a little bit, but then they would have got by me. So obviously, things happen, things change because if we're all battling, Pluto might get in the fight, and do Chungus and Matty Moo still have that contact? You see, we don't know. So
Yeah.
it's all based off the DRS train, but yeah, being there in that DRS train is not fun. You just have to sit there and hope sometimes with the top two. But if they both crashed, then it'd probably be between me and Pluto at the end. But we'll never know.
Yeah, that's all I got. Great win.
Same here.
I guess everything kind of worked out for you with the that VSC and everything, and way to keep your head down and just making minimal mistakes there.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, congratulations once again. The French Grand Prix is next, and I must say, 2 seasons now where we had some wet running there. We didn't have any wet running today. We could see some next week. I've probably just jinxed it now, but whatever. Anyway, round number 12 next week. Join us October 23rd, Sunday, same time as always, and we will see you next time.